Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 156. Where are the Xbox exclusives? With me, George, and as always joined this week by Seb, Bobby, and RGT. Games Pass to my failed Hall Pass. How's it going, guys?
Really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now let's do a round robin because he's been on his... I don't know. He's going through what I can only describe as like a Tom era. Celebrity's gone to his head. He's done a tour of Europe. He's done a tour of America. He's been everywhere. But let's welcome back the cherub. Bobby, how are you, friend?
I'm good. I'm not stressed out this week. So that's good. It's been a long 4 months at work, man.
Everybody wanting to know where you are. Everyone wanting to know if you're okay. You know, where's Bobby? What's going on? Have you sacked him? I was like, no, he doesn't work that way. He would be sacking me, not me sacking him.
No, just super ridiculously busy, which I think now is it's getting back to normal. Finally.
Good. So you're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, man. I'm happy I'm back. Happy I'm here.
Okay. Well, we also welcome back Seb. How are you?
I'm good. You know, same old here. I am just, I guess, reeling off of like all the good games we have to play right now because it's starting to become that review season, that season in the air that gamers love, where games just keep coming out left and right, giving us that 1-2 punch. And sadly, if you're paying for all these games, your wallet is in that 1-2 punch as well. But I digress. Everything's good.
Well, classic me. Every time review season comes around, I jump in the retromobile and disappear into a deep PS3 slumber. Just because I like to be odd, I think. RGT, you've come back. You're a glutton for punishment, if nothing else. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Yeah, doing really well. Same bit like Bobby, really busy at work, so gaming time's been limited, but hopefully we'll be changing next week. So, yeah, looking forward to playing some more games. Using
your newfound podcast celebrity to launch a range of innovations that are going to go in those magazines that fall out of the mail on Sunday. You know, like litter pickers and chairs to help the elderly stand. Can't wait to see what you're going to come up with.
I'm just going to endorse everything.
No matter how questionable.
Yep, that's going in. If they got the ka-ching, I'm endorsing it.
They don't want the witch review anymore. They want the RGT seal of approval.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm so bamboozled by that. I don't even know the format of the show, but I think it goes something like I ask an old-time community member, Odders, to grip the wheel of whatever it is he's sat behind. I don't know what he's going to be driving this week. Maybe a three-wheeled forklift. So raise those tines up to about eye level, but be careful not to decapitate anyone, Odders, as I ask these gentlemen, what have you been playing? And I'm going to pose that question, first of all, to... we've got to find out. Bobby, what has been going on with your gaming time in this absence? What have you been up to, friend?
All right, so after 87 hours and Elden Ring, Marlon finally got the platinum for Elden Ring.
Wait, PSA, how's Marlon?
He's doing good. He's doing better now that Elden Ring is over. He was stressing out. It's a stressful game. Stressful game. See, I was a new game +5. So I didn't have every single... First of all, I didn't know I was going to play this game again. So I didn't have every side of grace. So we basically had to play the game together. So we had to play his game, then you do my game to advance the story. I had to do his game and my back and forth. Finally, got the platinum. That's over. Thank God. I'm not playing this game again. If someone needs help, I'm sorry. I'm retired.
It must be quite rare, that platinum, isn't it? That wouldn't be
no, not really. It's pretty. It's not as low as I think. I think because a lot of people have been playing it, and they've just been achieving it. So, I mean, it's difficult, but I think it's very possible to do, especially with all the community still helping with certain boss battles. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing. So we did that. Finally done. Gave up on the Callisto Protocol. I'm just like, why am I playing this game? For what? So I just put that on the shelf.
I think this is an important step.
It is an important step
on the road to your recovery.
I've never did that before. Right? I try to beat everything, and I'm like, why am I bothering with this game? I mean, I was thinking of things to do, not to play video games. That's not who I am.
Wow.
So I had to like, nope, see ya. I say, don't want to start doing. I jumped, which is also very rare. Now I have a pretty long backlog, which I try not to have, but I had to jump a lot of games to play Hogwarts Legacy. And if you every 10 feet, Revelio, every 10 Revelio, okay? I'm finding everything. You understand? I'm down the staircase, Revelio. In the middle of the forest, Revelio. I'm Revelio in my everything in that game, okay? Everything.
So
thing is, it's painful because it's true.
Yeah, I love this game. Okay, first I did the 3 houses I can care less about for that specific trophy. So I did Ravenclaw, which I didn't know even was a house. I did Hugglepuff. I did what's the other one?
There's Gryffindor and Slytherin.
Gryffindor. Mm-hmm. And I said, let's get these, minor houses out of the way.
What, you played through the whole game 3 times?
Yeah. So let's
minor houses.
These minor houses that everyone's always talking about, whatever, yada yada. So I said, these got to go. And
Hang on a minute. I'm taking a 3-week break because I need to do Hogwarts Legacy 3 times through as well. What the hell?
No. I just had to get to a certain part of the game, maybe an hour and a half in, for a specific trophy to unlock with each house.
So you didn't have to play through the whole game.
No. You just had a
filthy trophy.
Now I'm playing
research
as what everyone should be playing as, Slytherin. Okay,
bite your tongue.
Because I'm into it, bro. Okay, I'm a Slytherin snake. All right? And I'm in there, bro. I'm in there. And I'm ready to wreck. I'm ready to wreak havoc. Understand? First of all, I have this amazing haircut. Okay, I got some freckles. I'm as pale as you can be in the game, and I'm going around with all the students looking at me. Revelio. They must think I'm a maniac. But you know what? Slytherin, baby. They were partying up in the dormitory.
I have so many follow-up questions. Like, okay,
please do. This game is amazing, bro.
So first of all, I love the energy. I love the energy, but. My first follow-up question is like, number one, how far are you into the game?
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, I just got the broomstick.
Okay. So you did the flight class for the first time?
I did that, yeah. Okay. But with the other house, I just ran straight through basic, get this trophy, boom. I didn't care. I just skipped everything. Just I don't want to, Now I'm watching the cutscenes. I'm talking to people. I see a side quest. I'm dueling. I'm doing all types of things.
Okay.
Story's pretty interesting so far.
Okay, that's good. So my second question is, it sounds like based on the house knowledge, you're not a super Harry Potter fan yet.
I mean, I watched the movies.
Okay.
My sister was younger, so I saw them.
Gotcha.
I enjoyed them. I mean, I'll lose a quiz if you give me a Harry Potter quiz. I'd lose.
Yeah, fair enough. And then I'm in it. I'm happy because I wanted to get that outside perspective from a person who's not like necessarily ingrained in the lore.
Yeah.
Because like George, RGT, and I, we kind of did our review over it, and there's a lot of discourse that we had over like how true it was to the lore and like some of the nuances that it kind of skips over. And is this like a true Harry Potter game, or does it feel like it was kind of lightly painted over with that Hogwarts brush, so to speak? Mm-hmm. So from an outside perspective, like how do you feel like it keeps true to what you remember from the movies?
To be honest, I don't really know.
Okay.
I can't
That's
say.
fair.
I can't say. I just know there's some professors in there that from the films. I didn't read the books. Reading is hard, but also third grade was rough. You understand? So for me, the movies is what I know.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. And every now and
then, let me throw something in. Let me throw a spiky bomb into the cauldron. I'm about done with this game.
Ooh.
My last question though, George, before you say you're done, is like, Bobby, how dare you talk about these other three houses? Like Hufflepuff isn't the king of the castle right now.
First of all, I don't even know what a Hugglepuff is, bro. Okay, number one. So that's just out of control. I mean, what are they? According to the sections of choosing the house, Hugglepuff, whatever the hell it's called, Huggle Bowl, Huggle Bean, Huggle whatever. Okay, I know what you can huggle. Okay, now there was choices to pick. One was like bravery, which is what's the other one we just said? The main one.
So
Gryffindor.
Yeah, Gryffindor's bravery.
I mean, that's
Slytherin's
like I don't want to be
ambition.
Harry Potter's underling. So I was like, I mean, I know it's before the story. I'm just saying, no.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ravenclaw. I mean, sounds cool. I like that house. I'm not gonna lie, that was cool.
House of Intelligence and Gathering Knowledge.
The other one was what was it?
Hufflepuff is loyalty and hardworking.
Yeah, I mean, listen, who has time for that, right? Now, Slytherin was ambition, and I'm all about ambition, bro.
I feel you.
All right, and you got to get there. How you gonna get there?
So here's my thing: it's just like
every time I recover from one thing, I lift my head up and get slapped with something else.
Yeah,
Bobby's got a dark side to him when he's playing this game, isn't he?
I just wonder, Bobby. I love the energy here. I want, as the weeks go on, and you're giving us progress reports on this. I want to see if that energy continues or if 100%. This is quickly going to fade.
Let me do a quick round robin. We know where Bobby's at. RGT, where's your energy level with Hogwarts at?
I'm about 35 hours in. I'm enjoying it, but I'm getting a little bit of burnout, if I am honest.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie, Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Totally mirrors where I'm at with it. I think there's some, I feel like I'm getting really towards the end of the game, but some of these assignments I have to go on, I have no interest in, but it's the only way to advance the story, and it's beginning to grind my gears a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of wish they just made some of the main story a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah, I think
finding random things. I mean, I could do that on my own, but that is kind of annoying.
I find it as well as a game that seems to sort of work in the opposite. Rather than a lot of games will start slow and build you up and then finish on this epic high, this seemed to have started on the epic high and then fades away as you go through. So I think just having Hogwarts is a bit of a novelty at the start and finding everything. And he's told me, you get 20 hours in and you think, got to go over there and do his other side mission now. It gets a little bit repetitive. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It is a good game, and I'm hoping I will finish it. But,
that's why I felt like if I was a Slytherin and I said things that normally people wouldn't say, like the bad option or the mean option. Hey, can you do me a favor and go get my mother's locket from the river? Yeah, I'll get your locket. Now what? With my money. Give it to me. Or I'll keep your locket. I'm just making fun.
Yeah.
Revelio.
I think the thing that really gets me is the repetitive dialogue. You go to the room of requirement and the same things said every time, if you've been, well, you should be really pleased with your potions. And then all roads lead to Hogsmeade. I don't need to hear.
Are you off on another adventure?
Yeah. I think they could have had way more dialogue from me personally.
Yeah.
For a game of this stature, should have had a lot more.
Okay.
That's why I wish you could just hit it with the.
So wheeling that off the table. What else have you been playing, Bobby?
Just some FIFA 23 with my nephews. And they need to learn the fundamentals of football because it's just disgusting. Okay. Makes me upset. At least now I got them to follow Inter Miami. Listen, I don't really care what team they picked. I'm just happy they picked a team that they're trying to watch now, trying to breed them into this, the real football. Okay. So that's good.
Real football.
And then I bought a bunch of real football, not this American boring version that people love to watch. Because it's just disgusting. But
wow, you are for it today, Bobby.
Yeah, and then I have bought a backlog of games. So I have Evil West, Wulong. I have this Aliens. What you call it? Part 2, Destroy All Humans. Part 2.
Yeah,
I have a stack. I mean, it's disgusting. Dead Space. So I have to. Now I feel like I'm flowing. Now I feel like the time is there, and it's game time.
Yeah,
so Callisto Protocol literally sucked the living life force out of you.
It was making me upset to the point where I was, like I said, trying to figure out something to do. Why did I just leave it? Thank God I spoke to George, or else I'd be miserable.
I'm so glad this message finally sunk home with you because I know you struggled with other games and you've persevered, but Callisto, I mean, you made adaptations for it as well. You played it through on a different. You went in and changed accessibility to mitigate that dodge drivel. You tried and you still failed, which is a shame. Well, is it a shame? Probably not really. I think that you got away. You got off scot-free.
You're 10 for 10, bro. 10 for 10. With the advice.
Wow. Okay. I don't
True
remember the other
right
9
there.
times. One of those was don't eat dog food. Can't imagine that would work out that well for you. Okay. I'm going to move on. Seb, what have you been playing this gaming week?
I've been playing Wulong Fallen Dynasty. It's on Game Pass right now. So day and date on Game Pass. It's a beautiful thing. I've been playing that. I've been, chugging through Hogwarts Legacy. I've hit that point in time to where I'm like, this game is truly half-baked. I feel like it starts off strong and just slowly peters down like a slope. And everything about this game feels like they cared enough to get you into like that lore, but they didn't care enough to actually see the lore through. Like a lot of the fundamental things about Harry Potter feels like it's missing. We spoke on it in essence on a couple of episodes ago, but like, yeah, the further you get in this game, the worse the game kind of seems, and it's almost like the more you play it, you sort of see the cracks here and there, the copy and paste that they constantly hit, or like the fact that none of the rules that they set in place quite match up to the rules that are established in the Harry Potter universe.
It would like be doing 2 weeks solid at a Harry Potter theme park. By the end of the 14th day, you'd be done. You'd have seen the wizards coming in through the door at the back that you're not meant to see. You'd have worked out the butterbean is basically just a syrupy mess mixed with milk. You would have worked it all out. And I think the same thing applies to this game. You spend that long in it that you start to see the cracks. You start to see the students fade in. You start to see the storytelling that doesn't really grab you anymore. What's your thoughts on that, Seb?
I think you're halfway there with the point, because I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's the length of the game. I think it's the quality of it. Like if you look at a game like Arkham City, which has a very similar runtime as far as like the time it takes you to beat. Arkham City is a perfect Batman game. That it fits the lore, the whole universe fits within it. It doesn't have repetitive dialogue because all the NPCs say completely different things, and they adapt to the world of what's happening around it. Like you defeat enemies such as like Mr. Freeze, the enemies, the grunts all around you are talking about the latest gossip. I'm like, did you hear about what happened to Freeze? Like they react to the world. Here it's like the world, the NPCs, they all feel the same as when you enter Hogwarts, as the same as like the winter season when you slowly progress through the different fast forward season cuts that you get within this game. Like this game feels like it feels like it's half baked. Like there's like hardly anything else I could say about it. It's like the way that they built this Harry Potter world just feels like it was lightly built as opposed to like a game like Arkham City that was built around the lore that was established for a character. And I if you compare like the best licensed games of all time, this probably isn't going to be in the top 10. Like I feel like this is a trend that a lot of people are playing right now. A lot of people are having fun. But as like I think in a year or two, this game is going to be utterly forgotten about, and a lot of people won't want to replay this game.
I totally agree. What other than Hogwarts Legacy, then? What else has been spinning in the disc tray? And Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
What's your thoughts on that? Have you played Neo?
I played Neo. This to me feels more like Sekiro than it does Neo.
Can't wait for this.
Yeah, it has a lot of Neo-isms, especially in the systems that you play. But like the Neo, it has a little bit of nuance to where like the magic is heavily emphasized. There's a lot of different things about Neo as opposed to like Wulong, but like one of the things that strikes me as like Sekiro-esque is like how you're rewarded for playing aggressively, and you're like the parry system feels more like Neo. I mean, feels more like Sekiro than it does Neo. Like this game to me feels very much like it feels very polished in a very PS3, like Xbox 360 way, to where like some of the graphics look like that old school timey graphics in the best way possible, but it also feels like the gameplay feels very much like Sekiro than it does Neo. One of the better things I like about this game is the fact that it feels more like a linear experience, whereas Elden Ring just felt like, hey, we're going to throw you into an open world. We're not really going to explain very much. We don't care about lore either. And like, we don't care about storylines. We will leave lore around the world, so to speak. We're not going to focus mostly on story here. Like, this is a game that kind of speaks to the opposite here. It's very linear. It's very straightforward. There is lore pieces to find around the world, but it does focus more heavily on story than Elden Ring. And I feel like for people who like Sekiro, they're going to really enjoy this game.
Oh, I'm ready.
Bobby's ready. He's got to clear the decks down, though, because although I gave him a pass on Callisto Protocol, he's not allowed off the naughty boy step until he finishes Hogwarts. And then as a treat, he can have a little sniff of Wolong.
That's right.
Okay, Seb, have you got any more to offer on what you've been playing this week?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and give my indie gem. How about that?
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah, go ahead and get it out of the way, so to speak. I've been playing a game called a game called Macus Adventure. It's a game that's very similar to it has some Mario-esque isms in the sense it's a 2D platformer. But like one of the hooks in it is like you're almost like Beast Boy from Teen Titans, but instead of turning into a whole bunch of different beasts, you turn into different aquatic animals. And those different
aquatic, you say?
Aquatic animals, yeah. Like one of the emphasis in the game is like the animals you turn into, such as like a shark. If you turn into the shark at different points in time, it'll help you get through like a bigger obstacle. But for the most part, you're just like almost like this Aquaman-esque character. You play very similar to Mario or like Mega Man in the sense that you're like jumping up and platforming all throughout this world. You're facing enemies, but like when it comes to the obstacles around you, you're using like your transformations to try to like either rip through them, or maybe you become like an eel and like power your way, like use your electric ability to power up an obstacle to get through.
So it's not based underwater then?
No. The game is a hybrid. Half of it's
how
on
does
land,
a shark bite
water.
through a door on land without dying before he does so? I'm just concerned for his safety.
No, it's like half of it's underwater and half of it's like above, like on the surface. So like a lot of the puzzles to progress on the surface, you have to beat the puzzle underwater, or like you have to beat the enemies underwater. So like there are a lot of like different elements that kind of come into play. Like say you maybe have like 4 or 5 different enemies that are underwater, and you have to kind of like beat them in order to get the key to unlock a door on the surface.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me because initially I thought it was going to look like, I don't know, a tuna flapping on the boat of a boat's deck or possibly a fishmonger's front window, which probably wouldn't make that much of a great title. But what you've described now with the water elements actually sounds quite cool.
It is one of the best games that I feel like almost could have been made by a major first party development studio back in the day. Like this feels like they would have been like one of the best Game Boy games or one of the best like old school retro Super Nintendo kind of games. It feels like that, but it also has like a lot of modern mechanics in there. It's a really good title. I think on the Single Player Experience podcast, I'm gonna have I reached out and got the developer on a interview that'll be on an upcoming episode. It's a fun game. I think it's
what formats, Seth? What formats is this on?
Right now it's on PC and Steam Deck, but I think it'll be coming to Switch really soon, and it's gonna thrive on that platform.
Oh, yeah.
But like it's gonna absolutely thrive on that platform. But for the most part, I think this is a game a lot of people like. If you play it, you're going to love it. If you give it a chance, you're absolutely going to probably like feast on it. No pun intended with the sharks there.
No, pun intended. Collect your paycheck, okay? So just is it in 4K?
No, it's not. It's not in 4K, but like the 2D graphics and visuals look really good in this game. It's not necessarily like Hades good. It doesn't have like that kind of level of art style or like that kind of level of polish, but it does have a solid aesthetic that kind of really shows and really shines. It's one of those. I'll post on it. I'll post the review in the Discord so a lot of people can check out my like written review as well. But like, it's one of those games that I think if a lot of people play this game, it's probably going to be one of their favorite indie games of this year.
Okay, well, like I say, still working on a theme tune for your indie gem, and Bobby's in the future going to be dropping an easy plat, so I need a theme tune for him as well. Someone who doesn't need a theme tune and probably no intro, but it's the courtesy of the show to extend him one. RGT, what have you been playing?
Like we discussed, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm going to finish the game, and I'm not. I sound like
if only they could see your face. It's almost like you're struggling with a Veruca, the way you describe, getting through Hogwarts now.
Struggling with what?
Similar experience.
A Veruca, ingrowing footwart.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. Adding that one to the vocabulary. Did not know that. Oh, what were you saying? RGT started.
No, I sound like I'm putting the game down a lot. I'm not. I'm enjoying the game. I hate to say it, I think the first 3 to 4 hours you've seen everything the game has to offer.
Yeah.
I think it seems better at the start because you've got this gorgeous Hogwarts to go around and explore. Once you've explored it, you've explored it. That's it. There's a lot of filler I find in the game. For instance, when you first open up, no spoilers, but when you first open up, and you go to the broom shop, and he'll say, right, need to test his broom, you need to race this character. So you go from the broom shop to the Quidditch pitch, you race the character. When you're done, you have to go back to the shop to tell him you've finished this race. And he'll say, oh, we'll do another one. You've got to go and fly again. So you've got to race her again. So then you'll fly off the mat to race her. When you finish racing her, you go back to the broom shop to tell him and you just think, this is quite padded out.
Agreed.
The actual race is minute and a half, 2 minutes. You got to start in your 20 minutes because you've got to fly, keep going back to tell him you've finished the race.
Does this not make it a true ode to the nostalgic gems in many people's minds of the PS1 Harry Potter games?
No, those games were a lot different because those were checkmark games, so to speak. And they were linear experiences for the most part.
There was a free explore element which allowed you to collect up probably Bertie Bung's every flavour bean or whatever. And that aspect of it, I find there's a lot of forward and backward in. And although it's dressed up in the newest catwalk fashions, PS5, ray tracing, the whole bag of tricks, underneath all of that is a PS2 collectible, and it's not even pretending to hide its suit.
Here's something I will say. RGT just gave a really good point about some of the padding they do, because like the game goes out of its way to deliver letters to you to let you know that new quests are available. Like
Never read one.
No, you don't have to, because like you can check your like quest list, or like sometimes it'll read it out to you. But like why can't you just send to Al to let them know that the job is done, so to speak? Like they make you just fast travel to report back in every situation. Like, oh, we did this side quest basically. By the way, if like no one told you this was a Warner Brothers game, like, and someone walked up directly to you, like looked you dead in the eyes and said this game was made by Ubisoft, you believe it, right? Because this feels like an Assassin's Creed game.
This is Assassin's Creed Origins without a doubt, with a skin on. The way you put your new glasses on, or your coat, or your shoe, the layout is identical to Assassin's Creed Origins. It is, and the way you find your chests, the way you use Bobby's favourite Revelio everywhere. You know, you do the same in Assassin's Creed to find where the chests are once you unlock that. It is very, I would think this was Ubisoft without a doubt, this game.
RGT, can you say Revelio like Bobby does, though?
How does Bobby say Revelio?
Revelio.
Revelio.
Revelio!
You have to have it with a flourish. Revelio.
I actually used my pen as a wand then. Revelio!
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it sounds like, you know, I'm quite enjoying the game, but it's got its limitations. It's a very old school format for an RPG, I find, with nice graphics. I mean, there's no characters that you feel associated with in the game. I don't find there's anyone where you think, oh, I really like them, or that character. Even the side missions, you meet a few different characters, but they are very deadpan. There's nothing about them that you think, oh, I really like that character. They're really good. Yeah. It's really struggling to, I don't know. It feels like it hasn't been made with as much passion. It's like it is a standard RPG.
I was thinking they could have made a lot of the areas a lot smaller. And to be fair, who'd have even noticed at this point?
It's a standard RPG with a Harry Potter skin sprinkled over the top, I find. But we haven't, had a Hogwarts, or I keep saying Harry Potter. It's not Harry Potter, but we haven't had a game for a long while. So it is quite nice to be in that world in a modern way. I suppose that's more nostalgia why I'm playing it. But I will finish the game.
What else? Have you done the Deathly Hallows section of it yet?
No.
That kind of, I was flagging, then I got to that, and the artistic direction of it, not necessarily anything that was contained within it, gave me a little bit of a boost. But as soon as that was over and I got shunned back into the world, I've done more missions since. But after that moment, for me, everything just felt very formulaic, and I started to get disappointed every time. And sometimes I'll play it for 2 minutes and think, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. And then other times I'll play it for a few hours and think, okay, it's all slotting together now, I'm enjoying it. And then boom, something will happen. Yeah. And normally a mechanic that just reminds me of how
janky this is.
Well, I'll tell you how I see it. If I get back from work and I've got a couple of hours before the family comes back, and I play it for 2 hours, I quite enjoy it. 2 hour little stint. If it's on a Saturday afternoon and I've finished, I ain't got to work next day. If I go and put 6-7 hours in one go in, I mean, I've done this last Saturday. I put about 5 hours, I put it in one go. And at the end of it, it wasn't because I was going to bed I stopped it because I just had enough. I needed to play something else. And that's if I play it in little bits and pieces, it's quite nice to jump in the world, have an hour and a half, 2 hours, come out. If you try and have a long gaming stint on it, it shows its repetitiveness if you play it on a long stint. You almost think you've done this mission before, and you think, oh, no, I haven't. It's just a repeat of the one I've just done. That's I'm hitting on it a bit, but on a plus point, I think the combat's really good. Definitely the best.
Simple but rewarding, I think the combat's best described.
Yeah, the combat's good. The controls feel pretty tight, and the different ways you can use your spells is good. I think it's been the best Wisdom World game for the combat side. Is I'm enjoying that. And sometimes if you do go in quite overpowered, you feel a bit of.
Don't let Mike Rouse hear you talking about that, because obviously the greatest Harry Potter game ever made is the Move One Harry Potter game, the Wonder Book one.
Well, obviously, yeah, that's on a different level.
I don't know. Quidditch World Cup is pretty good.
Yeah, Quidditch World Cup is a good game.
Mike Rouse is going to sneak under your gate and slit your throat in your sleep. Be careful. He's dangerous.
The game does have some Gotham Knights vibe
for sure,
with the side missions. Yeah.
No, really? Yeah, I've never played Gotham Knights, so I didn't.
Go
it's
back
bad.
to the house,
It is
do
bad.
this. Go back to the house, do this.
The
Go out
bell.
this night, find this, go back to the house.
Question for you, Bobby. Does Gotham Knights feel as dead behind the eyes as this does?
Oh, Gotham Knight's way worse.
Oh, way worse. Way worse.
And I'm a Batman fan.
Mm.
And I just thought it was just I have to go out this night to do this, to do that mission, to go back to the house, tell them I'm done, to go back out again to do something. I mean,
report back to the Belfry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that, you see open, you wind up doing it as a mission anyway. So it's kind of like the same thing as like Mafia 3. You find a safe house, you bust it open. An hour into the game, you have to go back to the safe house and do it again as a mission. I mean, kind of like that's, you know, that's how, I mean, I could feel it, and I'm not getting me wrong, I feel it. I could feel what's happening in Hogwarts. It's a WB game, and that's what they do.
You know, the crazy thing is like WB has the potential to be so much more because like they have one of the best systems like patented in video games. Like, why isn't the Nemesis system in this game? Like the Nemesis system from like the Shadow of Mordor games. Yeah. And where you like have rival wizards in the school, like you take one down and then like another rival might appear.
Yeah,
or like
I would love that.
Oh my goodness, that would have added so much flesh.
Besides the Arkham, their best game is Mad Max. And if they could have done something,
Fury Road, yeah.
If they could have done something Mad Max with a Nemesis system and Hogwarts,
I tell you what, just Mad Max with with that Nemesis system would be absolutely brilliant. Another gang pops up, and and I can see it having legs in Hogwarts as well. But we'll be getting through a lot of students. But just to hear that dialogue system in there as well,
that'd have been amazing.
Oh, for sure.
And then they defeat you, and it's like they have a different thing, and that'd have been amazing because you want a duel.
And that could have been, that didn't have to be game wide. That just had to be locked into the dueling league at the front door.
Exactly.
That could have been perfect. Okay. RGT, what else have you been playing, my friend?
Dipped in a little bit more Spider-Man, collected a few more suits, so getting very close to the plat on that now. I've got about 4 suits left, I think, and then I've got my second plat on Spider-Man, so looking forward to finishing that up. That's been my little cleanser from Hogwarts.
Nice.
In there. A bit more FIFA I played, but we won't go into FIFA because George don't like it. And then, actually, I played a game that everyone thinks is quite rubbish. Friday night, I had a little bit of a night in the game shed with Bald Border from the Discord, and we were playing Jackass on the PS2. Now, that game, yes, it's the physics.
Question. Before we go into hailing Jackass on the PS2 as the greatest video game ever made, let's look at the equation. How many of my friend Jeremy's Hawkstones did you consume before the game went into the slot of the PS2? What's the alcohol versus game ratio here?
Not many of the Hawkstone lagers had gone in when we started playing because we played it before.
I need a number.
2. It was more at the end of the gaming session when I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, face down on the sofa in the shed, that I realised
face down on Bald Border.
Yeah, I wasn't going to add that bit in, but you've seen the photos. But anyway, so
amazing.
So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when I was trying to stagger back home in the pitch black, I realised that there was quite a few Hawkstones consumed and gin.
Wow. Okay.
And Brewdogs.
My goodness gracious! I mean, to be honest, that would make Qbert look like it's on PS5.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we had great fun playing that, laughing all the time. It's just a silly, stupid little funny game that is great to play in a group. Rather, if you play on your own, it's rubbish. But if you play in a little group, it's just good fun.
Okay, well let's not pontificate anymore because let's give the people what they want. It's not the theme tune, but they're going to get it anyway. RGT is like the Lone Ranger riding on down to bring hidden gems to me. That's the evolution of songwriting there, Bobby. You go off for a couple of weeks and boom, RGT's got a theme tune.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Now, what's becoming the high point of the weekly content that we pump out? It's your hidden gem. Wow. Now, what is it?
This game, it's a THQ game.
Ooh.
2009.
Good era.
Hold on.
Action-
I like
action-
that. I like that.
Action game. And it is on the Wii.
Oh no, you're losing me.
It's on the Wii.
Keep it together.
All right. Hold on. Does anyone have a guess before he reveals this?
Is this the new game? The guess the game?
Yeah, we got to guess. He's giving us breadcrumbs to guess it. We got to at least try.
So it's on the Wii. It's by THQ.
Yeah, it's a very obscure title.
Is it a game with animals?
What the? You can't do
Sort
this.
of, yeah.
Just chuck a title out and go for it. Is it Kabbalah's Big Game Hunter on the Wii with the attached motion controller rifle?
No.
Is it Rapala's Fishing on the Wii?
No.
Is it
the zoo game? The Life of a Zoo?
No.
Oh no.
Is it like a WWE port?
No.
The animals?
You know, Jake the Snake. You know,
the animal
wanna-
Batista, Randy Orton.
yeah.
You said-
Imagine them as animals.
Yeah.
I think Randy Orton would be a giraffe. Batista would be like a rhino.
You said
No.
snake. I want to hear Bobby do his I'm a snake.
I'm a slithery snake.
Yeah. Revelio! Do you want to know then? Do you want me to put you out your misery?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
please.
no idea what it is. Yeah.
Deadly creatures.
Dang it. I knew it was on point with the animals.
I said Kabbalah.
Yep, that's not Kabbalah. Yeah, you're way off there. Yeah, it's you play as two, so you're either playing as a tarantula or a scorpion, and you alternate through levels. Now,
Oh my god!
no, this is seriously, this is a good game. Actually, this is a definite hidden gem.
This is why you put the hours into finding
Yeah.
the hidden gems.
Yeah, and it is motion controls. I know most people will go. "Ugh," but it's
How
actually-
the hell do you motion control as a spider? Do you have to go out and buy like 8 remotes and crawl around?
Funny
You
enough,
do.
you do actually have to do that. Yeah, but you do. And so I'm running around on the floor in the shed trying to attack
Or you
the
play
scorpion.
as a snake. How do you slither? You need lino
you don't-
to slither.
No,
else
you're-
you're going to get friction burns.
Yeah, you just play as a tarantula or a scorpion, and that'll alternate
Oh.
as you finish
Oh.
levels. Chapters. And you attack. You get bugs and that to eat as you go through, and there's a bit of a story to it where you are. There's humans, which are the enemies as well. It sounds when you look at the case, it looks like shovelware, but it isn't. It's actually quite a unique game. Graphically, really good for the Wii. It actually looks good. I mean, I did cheat a bit. I played it for a Wii U, so it's in HD on there. But yeah, definitely worth a part. Definitely have a look at it. It's very unique, very good, and you can pick it up $5 to $10, and that's one of the. I think one of the definitely out of all the shovelware on the Wii, that's one of the standout titles for me.
Just give me the Give me the name again.
Yeah.
Deadly Creatures.
I have a question for you, RGT. Like, as a
Mhm.
person who goes back and plays these retro gems and such like
Mhm.
that, do you wish that Nintendo had a trophy system? Because it feels
Oh,
like you're going back
yeah.
and playing all these. It feels like they should have one, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't. I mean, obviously, you've got Xbox with achievements, PlayStation with trophies. I'm surprised there isn't their own little sort of checklist sort of system in place. I mean, they'd obviously call it something else. I'm very surprised they ain't gone down there because if you think of Nintendo, there's a lot of people who are 100% completionists on there.
They should
Yeah, for
they
sure.
should just
Games,
call
right?
them like Nintendo Stars, or they had the opportunity
Stars,
to
Yes,
call them that.
yes.
And
yes.
that would have made a lot of sense in the
Yeah.
world.
Especially for people going back to play games that they re-released
yeah,
for the
for sure.
90th time.
Mm.
Would have been good to have something like that. Yeah.
Knowing
Yeah.
Nintendo, that's not going to auto unlock your Nintendo Stars either, which is pretty sacrilege.
Mm.
Is that all you got to tell us about this RGT? Is
That
this
is the
going to
one,
be
yeah.
on the so to those that are listening, get yourself in the Discord because it'll be
Yeah.
updated and there'll be
Oh, and I've got an
bit
apology
more of a-
to make on that. I'd missed a game off there.
I
But
thought you had.
I'd missed a game off there. That's my fault. Bada Binks has redone it for me. Thanks to Bada Binks. He does all the artwork for the hidden gems. He's
I
a
want to
legend.
see Bada Binks to
He's
crop up with
brilliant.
a t-shirt, okay? And this might be an OLL exclusive. Bobby's head on a snake's body.
It has to say Revelio.
He'll do that. You know it.
Gotta
He's
say
gonna do that.
Revelio.
Well, he's
Yeah.
done me a Fur K one as well
Yeah.
of Seb. Yeah. as Ratchet, which is
yeah, it's brilliant.
yeah, which I've yet to share. The little OLL exclusive again, I think.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed off the Red Star, the PS2 Red Star game. So I do apologise. I have got the artwork for that. I'll be adding that on, hopefully. I'll add it on as soon as I can after the show, I suppose.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. But other than that, that's all up to date again. I added the other ones on this week. So.
Wow.
Yeah, come on a Discord, check it out. There's the complete list of my hidden gems on there, artworks, all the little details, mini reviews. Have a look if there's any you've forgotten, or and come join Discord. Come say hi.
Yeah, for sure. Before we continue on, I have an update on our fantasy league right now. We are knee deep into the league and everything going on within it. The actual points right now, like Handsome Bobby, you're in first place with 30 points. George is in second place with 20 points. RGT, you're in a third place with 15 points, and I'm in last place right now with -2 points.
No one put Seb in the corner.
No, he'll come back strong. That's because I haven't been released. He'll come back strong.
I was about to say, I have a ton of games that haven't been released, and I'm not
WWE style. To remind you of the Smacketh, quote unquote, that you laid down to the community last episode.
No, that's in our league. In the other league, in our fan league, things are going a little bit differently here. Your boy is primed up and ready. I have more than enough arsenal to take everyone down. And
listen,
right now,
you might be in possession of the NXT championship, but don't come swinging around here when the heavyweight gold is on the line.
Did you see Fat Zangief put a comment on the Discord after
Yeah.
the show? And he put, Seb was quite aggressive with the show last week. Is he always that angry? He's actually got worried. He's like, oh, he was a bit different last week, wasn't he?
No, I was playing like Facts and Groove. I really want to just put this out here. I was being aggressive to motivate y'all. I'm normally not that aggressive kind of beast. I'm not that kind of a man, but I want y'all to bring the heat here, because not only am I gonna come back and beat these guys that I'm hosting with today, but I'm the gatekeeper for y'all. I am the obstacle for y'all to get into the league with us. So I have to play the part a little bit. I have to be the heel. I'm Hollywood Hulk Hogan when he joined the NWO. You have to come through me to be in this league, so to speak. So
wow,
sounds like a lot of Hugglepuff nonsense to me.
You first of all, you picked the house that Draco Malfoy constantly got absolutely squanched in.
Because he had to, because absolutely Harry Potter was the main character.
I'm gonna have to go through this show.
Let Harry Potter go back and do something else.
Draco Malfoy got beat up by Hermione. He got beat up by Malfoy.
He was a peasant, and he should have been in Hugglepuff. He didn't have what it takes to be a Slytherin. So hop off, take off the coat, boy, and switch.
It's calm it down, fellas. Calm it down.
Listen, let's just bring some calm here.
That's true.
And the only way I can do that is to let you know what I've been playing this gaming week. Now, first of all, I awoke Monday morning to a rather harsh letter delivered to me by a snubbed ex-lover. And I have to say, it was controversial. I opened it up and a tear fell from my eye to my cheek as I realised I hadn't been on the PS3 for a short while. I'm sorry, my love. Okay? So as a medium to do that, I decided I was going to play Batman Arkham City. Now,
let's go.
Original hardware, tweaked slightly, admittedly, but still as she came out the production line. Once your eyes adjust to the dirty 2-dub whatever textures, that game, it just said more and more and more, and it keeps tickling you under the chin and tickling you under the chin and tickling you under the chin and dragging you from one thing to the next. Flying around the city is rewarding. Doing the missions is rewarding. Sneaking through the areas is rewarding. Cracking the puzzles to get inside some of the buildings is rewarding. Defeating the different enemies with different style weapons and combinations of the different bat gadgets that you pick up is rewarding. the game and the story and the hidden elements and the collectibles is rewarding. What a rewarding game. What a great game. So I've been enjoying that. Also, another letter from a former spurned lover dropped on the doorstep. Opened it up. It's Farmer Simulator 19. I'm so sorry, my love. I am so. Let me get down on my hands and knees. Like, what did I do? I am so sorry.
Did you pop and see Dead Babs?
Deb's Babs. I'm on the Purbeck map, friend. I'm not on the Oakfield map. So it's all about mowing down grass and silage, getting it in the clamp. It's about doing contracting jobs. You know it. It's about assembling the best international harvester garage you can possibly imagine. Immaculate in its presentation as well. So I don't know what it is about that game. It just hits different. It shouldn't be a good game. It shouldn't be a good game, but it is beautiful. It rewards me at every single step. Other than that, I've been playing some Hogwarts Legacy. Been enjoying that. Just crunching through it really now. Also playing some more PSVR. I think I had a little bit more time with Horizon Call of the Mountain. Some of my original points still stand, or most of them, I would say. But, getting a hang with the controls, that game's starting to open up a little bit more. And I did a really big climb in the game. Now, one of the things I said before is that, the trees, when you're down on ground level, look a little bit PS3. To be fair, same graphic is used when you're 2,000 feet up in the air. And all of a sudden, they look acceptable at that distance. So there's a lesson in life for you. Just stand further back from the trees. There was one climb where I was absolutely shattered by the end of it. I've also the combat's not what I wanted it to be, admittedly, but now I've got the hang of it. I can imagine that might be a bit of a vomit-inducing situation, dodging left and right so quickly, you literally just light speed from one side to the next. It's fine. It works within the context of the game, although within the context of the Horizon universe, I would love to be able to sit on a mountain as Aloy and watch this guy third person do what I was doing first person, because quite frankly, she'd be like, what is going on over there? That guy, he's moving. He's like the Flash. 1 minute he's here, 1 minute it's there. It's no issue. He's eating an apple. All of a sudden his health's replenished. Crazy. More kayak. That game is simply a hidden gem. I decided to try out Job Simulator as well on there. It's much improved from the original PSVR 1. Much improved. Although there were some strange moments where I find I'm pretty strong-legged in VR unless the whole world moves. So the position you're in, the whole world shifts left or right or forward or backward a meter or two. And for some reason, I don't know whether it's the lighting I was using or what, but I was finding that the whole level was shifting quite quickly with me in it. So 1 minute I'm working up in the kitchen simulator mode. I'm right up working on the worktop. The next minute, I'm a meter back from the worktop. Then the next minute, I look down, I try and get in the fridge, and it spans me like almost out of the working area. I'm like, what is going on here? And at the same time, I'm like, it's like a transition in the young ones where the screen flips upside down on left, right, and Chelsea. There's a
flashback.
There's a flashback that no one's going to get in this room bar RGT. Like, of all the things you could have used as an example, George, you went with that. What else have I been playing? Oh, and I doubled down. And off the back of playing Last of Us Part 1, I got about maybe 2/3 of the way into another playthrough of Last of Us Part 2. And I've just done the Rat King section, and I'm now on Lev's Island, trying to get on a boat with Abby to get away after going to talk his mum into accepting him as he is now, which ended with him, spoilers for a however-year-old game, ended with him killing his mum. So, there's a lesson. If your parents don't agree, just kill them. Your sister will instantly forgive you as well. That was my takeaway. Everything I normally find about The Last of Us, the story nuanced, the characters nuanced. The sister walks in, mum's dead body on the floor. Lev, are you okay? It's okay. These things happen. You're upset.
I think the mom was horrible to both siblings, and I think the sister...
know that. But even if your parent is horrible to you, you can't just brush off killing said parent as if it's nothing. I'm sorry, but that
Have you played a God of War game?
high fantasy, versus
I know, I'm
realistic
playing, I'm
Outbreak
playing.
Simulator. You know, I've
a
played God of
Slytherin.
War, and I actually think that some of the things that happened in the PS2 era are very glossed over in the PS4 and PS5 games. I'm like, okay, we're all saying about what a great dad Kratos is. You know, Kratos fundamentally failed day one, week one of fatherhood, to be fair.
That wasn't his fault, though.
He was tricked.
He still did it.
Trickery. It was a Slytherin trick, man.
It was. Slytherin trick.
Revelio. Okay.
Yeah.
Revelio!
Mhm.
He gets away with blue murder considering his past record looking after infants. That's all I'm saying. You know? Did this not pop up as a red flag? It should have done on his dating website profile. I don't even know what that would look like. What would a God of War dating profile website even be called?
Slayer of siblings.
Plenty
Family
of fish.
destroyer.
What was that second one?
I don't know what I said. What I said?
I thought you said fanny, which hopefully is American for backside because...
No, I didn't even say the word fanny.
Okay, that's perfect.
Said
Okay,
Slayer of siblings, and I said, I
Mm.
don't know what I said.
Okay.
Pretty sure it wasn't fanny. I don't. We can't rewind. I don't even know what I said. I was in my own mind thinking about things.
So
Could've been
George,
who the hell knows what's happening?
What an eclectic mix of games.
so George, how are you liking The Last of Us Part 2 after all this time?
Great. Do you know what? I'm enjoying it more this time. Pressure's off. You know, at the time I was playing it and chasing it through because I didn't want to get spoiled and wanted to see the end as soon as possible. This playthrough is a bit more meandering, a little bit more time for reading the letters and digesting, you know, some of the emotional sentiment meant in those. Just generally just picking through the city a little bit more. And I think, to be fair, it's aged up real well. And I found some of the dialogue exchanges and just the naturalness of performance in there that just really drew me in. I think anyone who's been watching the show, and obviously I haven't because I'm a mere UK pauper without access to the HBO show, I've seen episode 1 and thought it was wonderful, but I can't vouch for the rest of it. But if anyone's thought, I'm really enjoying this show, I'm going to go get a PS5, such a thing would crop into their mind, and they play through part 1 and into part 2, I think they'd be having a pretty wonderful experience. The Rat King, I would say, I don't think I enjoyed it as much this time round.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. He was just a little bit like, how many times do I need to wail on this guy? And yeah.
He's a bullet sponge for sure, but you know, like I think that first time when it's the novelty of seeing it for the first time, you know, and having to face off against that beast for the first time, and now you're expecting it. I think that kind of like it has that kind of effect of the opposite effect to where you're like, oh man, I remember how like long this fight is and such. You almost dread it for a different reason, you know.
And to be honest, when we fell through the floor, I was like, okay, here we go. Use the post to my advantage, working around the post. But sometimes when you can orchestrate the post, I don't know if the post is the technique, but that's the technique I'm using. You can utilize the post. There's a central column in one of the areas that you can get round that he can't get through. So he has to do his long charges, and you can sort of orientate the room where you've got the longest sort of charge to execute into the supplies area, and then if you sort of diagonal cross through the post to the other side, it gives you quite a long distance to enable you to, I was going to say pump this guy, but you know that's probably not the right term, but certainly flame him and then boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And
I did.
Is that what you did?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, if you use incendious devices, like flame devices, you can beat that thing in like 2 minutes.
The only
Like,
thing I
easy
didn't
fucking
have falling in there was enough stuff to make pipe bombs. I was missing an element, and everywhere I went in that element, in my brain it was like, they're going to have left stuff here so you can make a pipe bomb. It's a no-brainer. Couldn't find a thing. I picked up ammo a go-go, but no pipe bomb material, which was a little bit annoying.
You could have found if you used Revelio.
Revelio pipe bomb, literally handmade for me, ready to go. When I beat him, I was like quite happy. But one thing I noticed is the game gives you no ammo from there on, really. And I was desperate going on to Lev's Island. I sort of looked down and thought, hang on a minute. I've got a hunting rifle. I've got a hunting pistol round. Two rounds for my normal pistol. Oh no.
What are you playing? What difficulty are you playing on?
I can't remember. I wouldn't have played it on any less than moderate, I shouldn't think.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, that's still exciting. So I enjoyed that. And I think trying to think what else I've been playing. Probably picked up some other drivel on PS3, no doubt that I've been given a go to. That's me all over. But it's good to go back to the PS3. I've missed that. I've missed that machine.
Is it just nostalgia? Because like there are better ways to play like Arkham City.
Are there though?
Oh my god, the Xbox Series X, like playing that on that with the fast load times and everything like that, it's a far superior way of playing it.
No, Seb, you're wrong. The original creative vision for that game was to include all of that and put you through this process and this system with these graphics.
So you're like
that was the
artist's.
That was the artist's original vision, as you know.
Yeah, I understand, but that was like what 13 years ago. At this point, there are way more convenient ways of playing this game now. And then they also made Return to Arkham, like the remastered collection.
That was horrible.
I was going to have a look. I've played them all through on there, and I don't know why, but the PS3 Siren song pulled me in, and there's just something about the way the PS3 in that era renders flat foliage and just the texture pop in, and it's all part of the experience. I know there's better ways, but this is, as Mando would say, this is the way.
I understand. It's almost that same way of why Nintendo buyers buy like the same game over and over again, despite the fact that Nintendo doesn't do any like updates to the game at all, just charge an additional $60. Like you're the same way. It's just you're doing it for the PS3. I get it.
Yeah, and Arkham City's £1 or $1 in a thrift store.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure. So
does it make any difference with your SSD, George? Bit less popping.
Now I noticed this when I played Origins on the PS3, and the SSD changed quite a lot. There's sometimes when you're in the open world. When I played it on a normal spinning hard disk drive, I noticed that as you span the camera around, and this is relevant to all the PS3 games with the HDD in them. There's elements where you turn around and the sign pops through. To quote Bobby on the Cyberpunk episode, it goes through every generation of PlayStation up to PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, poof, and then it's popped and it's rendered, and you're like, yeah, that's great. When you've got the SSD in there, you turn around and bam, there's like half a millisecond or something, and then it's the full resolution texture.
Just that speed, isn't it?
And distance on draw as well. When you're rotating the camera around, it maintains the. So am I playing it on OG as the artist intended? Actually, no, I'm not. So shoot me for my heresy because I'm quite dangerous.
You're on your pimped PS3.
I'm my D-leaded PS3. But no, it has made differences, and that's one of the things that I like about having the SSD in there. It makes things snappier. I'm not saying it makes things PS5-like, but it might shave 20 seconds off a 1 minute 20 load time. It might shave 5 seconds off a 20-second load time. When you transition from the inside to the outside in Arkham City, as an example, the time is definitely cut down. So it makes it snappier. It's a nice way of playing it, and it probably showing it as the best it could have been at that time. But yeah, definitely enjoyable. And I think if you played it on a normal hard drive and then played it on an SSD PS3, you would notice that you'd be like, actually, do you know what? This is kind of like a PS3 Pro. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a telling game of like, it's telling for Hogwarts Legacy that both of y'all are playing a game that is another licensed game that's an open world game that almost does a lot of the same things Hogwarts Legacy does, but like y'all played Hogwarts Legacy, and both of y'all went to go play another game that's very similar. That's more of a polished experience of an open world game.
Well, something you said stuck in my mind, Seb, about Arkham City last week, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go give that a go because it's interesting.
No, Arkham City's a masterpiece, dude.
Oh, for sure, one of the best games ever made. But like, yeah, what really made me like kind of feel that pull of wanting to play again is looking at that Suicide Squad preview, and I'm like, man, this is not what we want. This is not what we want from them.
Yeah, and that was the other sort of fuel in the tank to go mosey on down. And even I said to my son, I said, would you play this? Because me and him played a bit of it together. And I was like, you enjoying this? He said, yeah, actually, do you know what? This is really good. I said, what do you think to the graphics if this launched today? And he's like, do you know what? Once you get used to it, it looks really good with that art style and that art direction.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of works that it's gritty. It kind of works that it's a bit sort of
Gray.
multifaceted in its textures, and grainy. Well, what I'd probably say to that is, if you came here for the latest 2008 news, you're in the right place. So let me take you to the wrong place. It's time for the news to scour the very darkest region of the internet. Let's to bring you the latest stories. First up, okay, in what does feel a hark back to the 360 PS3 era, fables take time. In a recent episode of VGC's new podcast, journalist Andy Robinson spoke about Xbox's upcoming games lineup, with the host speculating on what might appear at the summer showcase in 2023. While the outlet hasn't heard anything specific about what's planned for the conference itself, Robinson claims to know some information on what games Xbox is focusing on in the short term outside of Bethesda, call it what you like.
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Whatever, mate. You know.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
I say it wrong, you say it right. You know it's fine. Once Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and Starfield are shipped, Avowed and Hellblade 2 are reportedly the next big things for Xbox. He said, I think the nearest ones for them are Hellblade 2 and probably Avowed. That's the next big thing for them. And they'll be talking about, and that's what they'll be talking about. From my understanding, these two are the closest. Unfortunately for Xbox fans, Robinson then went on to discuss what games are further down the pipeline, including one project that continues to stun him in terms of how long it's taken to develop. He says it's still pretty stunning that Fable is still miles away. Perfect Dark is not close. Everwild is not close. Everything looks so great on paper, and it's just these games are just not quite ready yet. While we'd love for the likes of Fable and Perfect Dark to be closer than they are, we're not too displeased with the information, to be honest. If it's accurate, Avowed and Hellblade 2 arriving shortly after Xbox planned 2023 lineup of games is fine by us. We're guessing we won't see either of them until 2024, but who knows? For now, this is all rumor and speculation, and you'll have to wait until the summer to see what Xbox is ready to show off next. The team hasn't dated its E3 showcase yet, so expect to hear news on that front in the coming months. Gentlemen, this bit of news inserted. We've even done the show after it. What's going on at Camp Xbox here? They've got Fable, they've got Perfect Dark in the pipe. They've been working on games since the initiative was announced. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I love a good correction. We haven't really seen anything, have we? RGT, what's going on at Xbox Towers? Are they all busy procrastinating, enjoying the free coffee bar and water cooler moments, and actually forgetting to do work in between? Has this turned into one long, uninterrupted coffee break? Or are we to expect something other than, the aforementioned Starfield, etc., etc.? What about these further away games that were played as a highlight reel and we never really saw anything from?
I don't know if it's just me. I might be wrong. I'm sure Fable and Perfect Dark, they seem to have been in production for a long time.
Yes.
They seem to have been a long, and I have found that with some of their games that they have got that long production time, which I find, I don't know. I know all games get delayed, don't they? And, more now than ever, after Cyberpunk, people are trying to make sure they're releasing something that isn't a broken mess. But I just find that sometimes the longer a game is in development and is announced, people, you get a bit tired of it. You get a bit, after a while, that's just like this promise that's gone on and on and on, and then you get burnt out by it by the time the actual game comes out. And I find that a bit worrying. I mean, I think a Fable game would be fantastic and Perfect Dark, but it just seems very... I mean, I think I can't remember, I read an article when that was about the Halo devs when they were doing Halo, and they said Microsoft and Xbox just pretty much left them alone, and they'd phone up once a month. How you getting on? Yeah, we're doing well. Okay, speak to you later. And that was it. And then they eventually come around and said, right, we want the game out next month. And they were like, that's not ready yet. They said there was no deadlines. I don't know if this is the same thing, but there weren't no set deadlines to hit or markers to hit. That was just do the game and we'll do it when it's ready sort of thing. So whether it's gone down them sort of lines with these games, I'm not sure.
Do you know what's kind of disappointing is the fact that off the back of Hogwarts, it refreshed my mind about what Fable could be, the scale, the scope, the English voice acting, all that sort of stuff. And it would have been an absolute great time to really slap us up the backside with some Fable news. Heck, nay, even announce a release date, God forbid. But nothing, relatively quiet. And I think that a bit of a shame, really, because it was almost like the world woke up to the legacy of Fable in itself, the story, the mythos, a little bit of nostalgia. It would have been a prime time to sort of capitalize on that, Seb. What's your thoughts?
No, absolutely not. Like, right now, everyone's release date triggered right now. Like, if you have a release date and you aren't able to hit it, that it's only repercussions from there. Like, it's negative publicity at that point. Like, that's why right now, like, PlayStation right now has a window right now that says fall 2023 for Spider-Man right now. Like, they're not going to give a release date until they know exactly when that game is going to be done. And right now, I'm like, respectively, I'm like, Xbox is doing the smart thing right now. They're keeping their cards close to the chest right now, waiting until these games are done. And it's like, I get the ferocity and the narrative that goes behind, like, hey, where are the first party exclusives? It's a question we've been asking ourselves ever since the Xbox One generation for Xbox. But, good games take time, and game development right now is as hard as it's ever been, and as demanding as it's ever been as well. And Phil Spencer has a hard job right now. He's bought several different studios with several different IPs and projects that they're managing to put out. But like right now, it's a rebuilding franchise. Like, it's almost like you buying a baseball team that has been bad for 10 years. You're having to constantly keep rebuilding, and like, one day you'll be the Houston Astros, so to speak, but right now it's the rebuilding phase. And it's that right now it's that Miyamoto quote of a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is bad forever. It's one of those things to where, like, if they do rush out Fable news or rush out Fable, like, and that game is a Cyberpunk, it constantly will have that Cyberpunk stink to it right now. Cyberpunk right now is a good game, but like, if you talk about Cyberpunk, it's always the butt of, hey, don't pull the Cyberpunk. Like, it's the butt of jokes right now in game development. So it's one of those things to where I'm like, Xbox has a lot going for it right now. And quite frankly, if Starfield hits, you don't need anything else this year. Like, it'd be nice to have a whole bunch of things, but if Starfield's a 10 out of 10, you don't need anything else. Nintendo right now has a couple of smaller things right now, but I guarantee you, Tears of the Kingdom is a 10 out of 10. Like, they don't need anything else. You know what I mean? Like, right now, PlayStation only has Spider-Man this year. Only has Spider-Man. If that game is a 9 or a 10 out of 10, they don't need to put anything else out,
Question for you, Bobby. How long is too long to wait for a game?
I don't know. I really don't pay attention too much to release dates or things like this. I can't consume myself with it, because if I get too excited, I get aggravated, and I want to play it.
So Xbox, if they're doing you a favor, if you were even remotely hyped for a Fable game, the fact, as Seb says, they're keeping radio silence is actually winning them kudos, rather than saying it's going to be out fall 2024 and then having to delay that into 2025. You think that's a positive news story?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no actual date, or they think it's by this time, all right, then it's got to wait. What is it? There's other things to do. But if you're telling me it's going to come out October 1st, I'm like, all right, well, at least I know in a few months I'll have this game I want to play. Now you delayed it. Now I'm aggravated. Then if it gets delayed again, it's like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Okay, open question, and this is one that's been sort of tumbling through my mind. Is Perfect Dark even relevant anymore?
I think that can be said for a lot of different IPs. But yeah, Perfect Dark is one of those I think it's an IP that if done correctly could jump back up into like the ethos of what game of that genre, so to speak. Is it relevant?
It launched on N64, which, to be fair, didn't have critical mass, and it released as the sequel, kind of loosely, to GoldenEye. And it was towards the end of the N64 era. So although there'd have been many rabid fanboys like me saying out as the next best thing in shooting, it really was just exactly what I just described it as. How can there be that much nostalgia? Because when they tried this road before as an Xbox 360 launch title, it was a very shiny looking, I have to admit, turd.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like rare, like a lot of the rare IPs right now could come out and absolutely kill, just because there is like nostalgia kills. It's almost like you ask, like, is it relevant now? Like Perfect Dark is almost in the same situation as like for Nintendo as a Earthbound, so to speak. You know, like a lot of the nostalgia for those games for the older like generation are going to turn up for a new Earthbound game like day one, but like for the modern day people like Bobby, for instance, who didn't play Perfect Dark, is probably not going to be excited about Perfect Dark, you know?
Mm.
You know, but
I've got a question for you guys. Sorry to interrupt, Seb.
Go ahead.
Do you think developing games for Games Pass rather than for sales affects it? Do you think this has anything to do with it? Because obviously for Games Pass, you're relying on releasing a game on there which isn't going to be sold for obviously a profit. You're relying on more subscribers coming onto the system. Do you think that affects, whereas obviously when you're selling a game, you need to hit a certain date to sell it to start getting some profit back in? Do you think that has anything to do with these while they're on these games? Do you think it's a different development process if you're producing a game for a service rather than for sales?
From what and I've spoken with some developers about this, it is a different development process, but it is a little more freeing as far as like, hey, we aren't like pressured as much, but there's still a lot of pressure behind like trying to hit a certain date and different things like that, because like in game development you do have a lot of studios where they still have dates such as bonus dates, you know, like if you get to a certain amount you get a bonus, and or different things of that nature. So I'm like, just because like the model of game releases have kind of changed, especially with Xbox and stuff like that, doesn't mean like the nature of like the cadence of game development has changed. It has like affected some little areas, but I wouldn't say enough to where it like completely has changed the landscaping of like video game development, you know?
Yeah, if Microsoft didn't have such deep pockets, Games Pass would have died 2 years ago.
Probably so, but I mean, Amazon.
So let me ask you this question:
still doing good as well.
Is it even sustainable without that money? And if not, then is it not a failed project?
I don't think.
And how much would you spend on a subscription service as a multinational business with the end game of being total domination, or at least getting your games under the screen of everybody and extracting revenue from everybody that you can get your greasy mitts on?
Here's a counter.
Do you go before it turns the money you've invested in it, which is billions at this point? It's nice. Games as a service is great. Netflix is a great idea for consuming movies and series and the snapshot ways you do it, but gamers don't game like that. And as I said to you, with the PlayStation subscription service, my respect towards the games I've downloaded from there is minimal. If it doesn't please me in the first 5 minutes, it's gone. I'll download another one. Heck, if I can stream a demo of it first, I'll make my decision even quicker than that. And there's an awful lot of chaff on the floor and not a lot of wheat. What's happening here?
Respectively, I think you're thinking of this in the older vein of like what success meant for video games back in the older generations. Because if this Game Pass is successful, and here's the reason why: like anything that's successful is often emulated and imitated. Like Amazon is following suit with Luna. Like Netflix has followed the Game Pass model right now with their own gaming service. Nvidia is doing the same thing with their Nvidia cloud service. Logitech has announced that they're jumping onto the platform as well, and Google right now is like sourcing out game developers to retry to do another different version of Stadia. Like there's a reason why companies, like more companies, are jumping on the Xbox Game Pass thing. Nintendo is like dipping their toes into it right now, and PlayStation fully, despite the fact that they are against the model in the first place, has now accepted like, hey, this is the way the games are going right now. It's a platform that's not only affecting video games but all of media as well, and this is just the way of the future. Streaming is like it is successful, and it's just like establishing like there's different bars of success now as opposed to what we perceived in the previous
is it not a Trojan horse though? Is it not? That old model wasn't really working for us. We only really got to sell the game to them one time, and all the secondhand sales we never actually got to remunerate from. We tried at the start of the Xbox PS3 era or Xbox One PS4 era, and Sony did a quick two-step there and kind of played a little bit of a dance for Microsoft. But ultimately, I can't see it. I can't see
I get it. I get it. But think about it like this. Like for a company like Microsoft is an outlier here, but for most companies, like a subscription model for $10 to $15 a month, where you're getting that guaranteed $10 to $15 a month, is like more money in the long run than just getting $70 just every maybe 9
how
to
many
15
the thing is that's all well and good, but how many studios are on these subscription services? So how thin does that $10 a month get spread? And which studio says, oh, actually, how come you've given them more? Because I want more because we're working on a really snazzy title for you now.
Here's my problem with this. Let's say Ubisoft decides I have so many games. Why do I need Xbox or PlayStation? I'll just make my own streaming service. You're going to charge me.
They do have a subscription service, by the way.
Yeah, so they have their own. But what if they remove it from Xbox and PlayStation, where I'm not part of Game Pass, I'm not part of PlayStation, I'm my own thing? Pay me a monthly payment for all my coming games. Then what if THQ does it? Then what if Warner Brothers does it? Then what if, let's just say, argument's sake, but like Activision doesn't need Xbox or PlayStation. They have enough of Call of Duty where they say, well, I don't actually need you guys. I'll do my own streaming service. Pay me a monthly fee.
And that's what's happening as well.
Because now you're losing. Now you have licensing issues where you can't use my game or my music, so I have to do updates, or things get removed from, let's say, HBO Max, and now it's on Stars, or now it's on Showtime. So Showtime has their own streaming service, HBO, blah blah blah, until whatever you're watching or streaming is licensed over. Now it goes on to another service. If everyone starts doing these services, now I got to pick and choose what to spend a month. I'm actually spending more money than just buying the game outright, and I'm done with it. Well, I mean, you have Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Stars, Amazon. There's so many streaming services. It's going to get eventually too much where I'm like, why am I spreading my profits to other companies when I have enough of a fan base to make my own? Like, what's going to happen then?
A counterpoint to all that, Bobby, is that like because we have so many different streaming services, everyone has to amp up their game, so to speak. The reason why there's a war for IPs right now in like media in general is because everyone wants to get a leg up on the competition right now. That's the reason why we're getting Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. That's the reason why we get a Last of Us TV show, and that's the reason why we like. Very much in the same vein as video games, to where like we're trying to get the first party exclusives, like TV shows are trying to do the same. And that's the reason why PlayStation has announced like 7 new projects, and PlayStation divvied those out in between those streaming services right now because they were bid upon. And like, like in competition.
I actually think that Bobby's point there is actually he's got my brain ticking. And I thought, yeah, to be fair, on TV in the UK, there weren't many options before these apps, and you paid a subscription. You either paid your license fee to get 4 or 5 channels, or you paid money to Sky or Virgin, which is sort of TV providers here, either cable or satellite, and you paid a certain amount and you got all your stuff. Now we're in this modern era where the Netflix model's been rolled out, and I'm subscribed to Netflix, Disney, Amazon, etc., 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 etc. Like, I'm actually spending more now on TV than I ever did. And if that ends up happening with games and I'm paying more than $70 a month, or even half of that amount, which we're close to, let's say I'm a Assassin's Creed fan, so I better subscribe to Ubisoft. Especially if we move away from the consoles that we've got right now, and people historically, I'm a rare beast, as is RGT. We keep our historic consoles, we store them away, and we collect the games. But a lot of people don't do that. They want to be minimalists. So to be a minimalist and be a fan of Assassin's Creed and FIFA, well, that's 2 subscriptions down the wall. Let's say you like Halo and you like, I don't know, Last of Us. So now you've got an Xbox and a PlayStation subscription. Even if they did away with consoles, you're going to be pouring this money into your TV. So $150 down, $200 down a month on subscription services, not only for TV, but for games and music, because we've got Spotify. The only loser right now in this world, and it's the way the modern world is, the only loser in the end game of this is me as a consumer. I've got less content and I've got less money.
Let me bounce that back at you, George. Is like less content. Like, can you name like when there was the cable model for television? Like right now, like can you name me like premium shows that were on cable? There was only like a handful right now.
Mythbusters, American Chopper. Come on, I could go deep on this.
Which ones won awards? Like, which one of those were actually like talked about? Like, you think about like this, which like The Walking Dead in its prime was prime TV where like everyone was talking about it, right?
Yeah, but it was a basic channel.
It was a basic channel. That's my point.
I didn't pay for that. I just paid for the cable.
My point with that, Bobby, is like that was a basic channel. Now you have a lot of streaming services where they each one has their own version of Walking Dead, versus beforehand there was only like on cable right there was only like 3 shows that everyone was talking about. Right now, like The Last of Us, Game of Thrones, you have so many different shows that everyone's talking about. Like The Mandalorian just came out and people were talking about like the premiere title, because we have so many different options. They're also able to curate to a very specific set of audience. Like, say for me, like for instance, who watches anime, like before on cable TV, we only had one specific channel that would show anime, and it was a curated list on what they thought would succeed. So they only poured so much money into like anime productions right now. Now, like, because there are a streaming service dedicated to that one specific genre, like they're able to pour money into that whole specific genre. And now like there's a lot more quality across that genre. The same thing could be said with high fantasy. Think about how many high fantasy TV shows, like legitimate TV shows that were of high quality that came out on the cable era. There weren't very many.
No, that's true. But now there's so many of them and half of them are trash.
But we still get that higher echelon to where like I would probably want at least like 3 or 4 of them that's going to be an all-time great, rather than just have one of them that's probably going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel.
True. Or I could just wait for the series to be finished and buy the DVD for $35 and not waste my money on a streaming service.
Where are you going to play that DVD though? I mean, you know,
on my DVD player.
And you still have that option to do so. I mean, why complain about something that right now you still have the option to buy the Blu-ray and buy a DVD right now. And I'm like, you have the option to pay for the streaming service and pay for it straight up. Or like right now, like The Mandalorian is on Blu-ray. You can go buy that and you can experience it that same way.
I actually don't know if Mandalorian ever got a DVD release.
Because I know a guy at my job.
Probably not a DVD, but it's on Blu-ray.
He waited for the House of the Dragon to be finished. He paid for the 1-month subscription of HBO, killed the 8 episodes, canceled subscription.
See, this is what I think where I'm going round about with this is day and date. This is where we'll see what's affordable. Day and date games going on to Xbox Games Pass. If they're spending £200 million on a game, now if you're a subscriber to Games Pass, that's good. You're paying $10, $15 a month. If you're getting regular first party AAA titles, you're going to be quids in. But how many of them people, if Microsoft spend $200 million on a game, you get a peak in Games Pass memberships for 1 month, or they use the free coupon and they get it for a month and then cancel the service. Is that going to be a profitable service?
Yeah, here's the thing though. Think about how many people go back and play Skyrim over and over again. Say like Starfield is the next Skyrim. You know, it's made by the same people. It has the same little aspects over and over again. Say that. And one of the things they talk about in streaming and like streaming services is a lot of people do forget to cancel those, so they're always making money from the people who don't cancel, who don't actively use their subscriptions. But all that aside, though, let's just say like in 2024, Xbox comes out of the gate swinging, and every 2 months they have a brand new exclusive. You know, it gives more incentive for like a consumer to want to stay on that streaming service.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the Disney Plus model right now of like if you're a nerd, you're feasting right now because you have Star Wars right now, and then like right as soon as Star Wars done, you have some Marvel property. Like you always have something. It's all like Xbox hasn't quite got to that the Disney Plus model that they're trying for right now. But when all the dominoes do fall, they'll have that ammunition. Like if PlayStation announced a streaming service right now to where it was day and date, a lot of people would grump and complain because they would be like, how is this profitable? But like if they said it was $20 a month and you were guaranteed at least a Uncharted Lost Legacy experience, where it would not necessarily like a grand 70-hour adventure, but you were guaranteed a smaller experience every 2 months. Like a lot of people would whoop about it. Like it would be in celebration. But
yeah, I think that's what it needs to be. I think it needs to be if you're paying your $15, $20 a month, whatever it is, you need a regular outpouring in a year span of AAA titles that will keep people on the servers.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, then you need to release all types of games at one time.
Yeah.
And if you have no interest in Uncharted, then no one's going to pick up Uncharted. So you would need an Uncharted, you would need like an RPG, you would need some kind of fantasy game, some kind of sport. You need something to keep it going. Because the casual gamer who doesn't, like, okay, for example, for me, I can only maybe play so many games a year. And I can get a lot of games half off on Best Buy when they're on sale. So I'm not necessarily spending a lot of money per se, because there's also Christmas gifts and birthday gifts and whatever else gifts you get, or I could borrow from a friend if I have to, but I'm just saying. Whereas if I want to pay for a service, then if I'm an RPG fan, but then the next 2 months doesn't have any RPGs, why would I stream or pay for a service? I'll just wait. Like HBO, once Last of Us is over, how many people are going to just drop HBO? Because what's on HBO for certain people? What movies from the 90s?
Succession comes out right. Care about that. Succession comes out right after
if you
HBO.
like Succession. If you don't like that, you're dropping it.
Yeah, I'm like success, but that's the point as well. Like for those high fantasy people, like right afterwards, they have like an Elvis show that comes out right after that. You also have like The Last of Us, which is like the Last of Us genre, and then you also have like Succession, which is another outside of that genre is another highly successful show. But like HBO has that drip feed model that we were just talking about. Well, in that genre the genre wars that you were just talking about, if you're a hot, like, here's the reason why Xbox is like starting to ramp up and doing this successfully. Like they like right now they just put out Wulong Fallen Dynasty, which is going to appeal to you, the RPG and the Souls player. But they also have the Destiny expansion on there, which is going to appeal to you as a RPG shooter kind of person. They also just put out Madden. If you're a sports game fan, they just dropped the new Madden on there. So I'm like, they're doing a regular like slow feed drip. It's just they're missing the first party exclusives. Add the first party exclusives there, then what's the argument against it at that point? Because they're already giving you 3 different games of 3 different genres on it, and then you add a first party exclusive every month. Then like that's an unstoppable like beast at that point,
I mean, if that first party exclusive appeals to you, yeah.
I also think, don't forget them other 3 games are on other systems. So they're getting game sales. I think the exclusives is where we'll see. If the exclusives are AAA quality and they're spending the money, the only thing that worries me, if they're going to release 2 or 3 exclusives a year, and I'm talking AAA exclusives in a year, as the amount of money it's costing to make those games, are they getting enough new subs to cover that? You see what I mean? That's where we'll see, because that's only going to be on that system. So there's no game sales from that at all, apart from your $15 a month. Come on,
how much is the Game Pass?
Hold on. Before I answer the Game Pass thing, RGT, like Xbox also has released like they're releasing games on Steam, and they're releasing games on Nvidia. So people who do want to buy those games outside of their ecosystem, they're getting money back. Like Hi-Fi Rush was in the top 5 in sales on its release date in Steam.
Oh, okay.
So they're getting money back from that. It's just, and by the way, like a lot of their exclusives are still coming to other consoles, so to speak. Like Call of Duty, for instance, would be, like we'll get to that story in a little bit, but like that game is also going to be released on PlayStation. It'll just cost you $70 as opposed to playing it day and date on Game Pass. And to answer your question, Bobby, it's like right now, if you don't pay like for the yearly model, I think it's like $15 a month.
Which is what I think I pay in UK. I pay $10.99, I think, a month for Games Pass.
Yeah, and
the PlayStation Premium, whatever it is, I dropped it to the
extra
lower service because I don't care about the games I played 20 years ago. I already have them. So why am I paying for this?
And I'm struggling with PlayStation Premium for that reason as well. And I've also struggled with Games Pass
that I didn't play.
But yeah, I just a shout out to PlayStation on that side of the things. I don't think you should actually buy the premium model. I think you should always go extra, because extra is that best bang for your buck if you are going for any of them. But like
the premium would have to be you never play video games in your life.
Yeah, you'd have to be a new
and then I want to try out certain games, and I have the old school stuff too. But if you're already a PlayStation player, I most likely already played these games. And for me, I don't really replay games often. I have to really like them to do that because there's so many games coming out. Can I waste another 70 hours on something I played when I have all these other games coming out? So is it really, am I ever going to play Siphon Filter again?
No, but
I don't even care there's a platinum.
But you're a select type of gamer. And I mean, like, look at what Nintendo's doing. Like, Nintendo Switch Online right now is releasing a lot of games. And by the way, the Nintendo is just the nostalgia system. They release the same games over and over again to a highly successful business model. But you and I, Bobby, are very similar in the sense that we're not gonna play a lot of those older games like many a times. But like the RGTs and the Georges of the world just went on each of them just talked about how they went back and played a game. For a lot of people, it's very convenient to want to play that on a streaming service versus
I think
having
it's cool.
to hunt that
like
down.
Streets of Rage 4, no one else going to my house. We could play online. I want to play Streets of Rage 3. I have to call somebody to my house to play my Sega game. But if it's on something I can play with a friend online, that's what's really convenient about it. But it's really just the same game that they just seem to release on Nintendo. That they could release a blue version of Mario 1 in some kind of weird font or weird. People would buy it.
Yeah, they would. They would. Nostalgia appeals.
But a lot of people are going to buy something else.
Let's coalesce this conversation to a resting point. I think we're going to end up back into it somehow in another couple of news articles. But Bobby, why don't you bring us your bit of news?
We got Capcom ready for show and tell. Capcom has announced a brand new live event for later this month, starring some of the biggest titles from the team's upcoming lineup. The Capcom Spotlight takes Thursday, March 9th, featuring Resident Evil 4 Remake, Exporium, the upcoming Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion, and more. Expect roughly 25 minutes of footage for the main event, plus a 20-minute pre-show. That pre-show begins at 2:10 PT and 5:10 ET and 10 GMT time, followed by the main showcase at 2:30, 5:30, and 10:30. Resident Evil 4 is so close at this point that we expect to have its strong presence at the show. There's also a demo for the upcoming remake Inbound. So if we don't have the news on that prior to March 9th, we expect its reveal here.
Okay, guys. So Capcom coming out the gates, packing the Resident Evil 4, the Monster Hunter Exoprimal, and others. What do you think we're going to see as far as the other stuff's concerned. And has Capcom got enough going on for us to really be excited about this, Seb?
No, not necessarily. Like, I think for the people who are going to play Resident Evil 4 remake, they're already in. I'm like, that game is T-minus like 26 or so days away. Like, you don't really need to show more of that game, to be honest. So
after that PlayStation showcase, should they show us any more?
Probably not. I mean, the people who are going to buy it are already going to buy it, and I don't think they really need to win anyone over. Especially like, don't waste 25 minutes on it. And to be honest, Monster Hunter Rise, the Sunbreak expansion, it's just more Monster Hunter Rise at this point. You know, like you could show us like a couple of like minutes of the new expansion. I don't think it's going to like completely wow anyone over. Now, this is the point where I expect them, if they are going to announce something big, it probably needs to be like what is going to be Resident Evil 9. You know, like what Resident Evil 9 would look like in that sense, or make an announcement there. But like, I don't think they're going to overshadow the Resident Evil 4 too much, and I don't think Exoprimal is really going to blow a whole lot of people away. So a lot of the stuff I think they're going to show are going to be of the smaller variety, which is why this show is going to be 25 minutes. So I wouldn't look for this to have like any major announcements, to be honest.
RGT. Back
me,
in the question.
Sorry.
Back in the day, older gamers like you and I would scour magazines every month for new details. And then events would happen at E3 and certain other gaming events, and you would be excited for them, and it would be real. We live in this modern era now where they don't need to waste time building a Resident Evil 4 set. They don't need to waste time building a Capcom sign you can walk through. They just slap up a quick YouTube stream. Is this style, and PlayStation are guilty of it, Xbox are guilty of it, Nintendo are guilty of it with the directs? Do you care for this, or would you rather watch like a 4-hour montage on YouTube about E3?
I'd definitely rather watch the E3. I think it is the modern way of doing it now. How do you hit the masses? You stick it on YouTube. Who isn't watching YouTube? If you want to hit the most fans of your game, that's where you drop it on there and you show footage. I mean, this for me, this is basically a Resident Evil 4 showcase, but they thought we better chuck something else on to pad it out a bit. So they've done an expansion pack and an Exoprimal. But yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be a Resident Evil 4 showcase there. If you watching the E3s used to be brilliant. I just love that because you get the wider scope of everything that's going on. Whereas these are specifically just aimed at those certain fans or those consoles or those genres, But will I watch it? Probably not. Some of them I when Xbox do one, I try and catch up with them. The PlayStation ones I try and watch, but I find out of every 5 or 6 that released out of all of them, there's only one that's normally catches my eye with games. I find some of them are a bit, they'll have 2 decent releases and pad them out with 8 half-finished games that aren't coming out for 10 years, so that's how you find with most of them. So there's only a few that catch my eye, but yeah, will I watch this one? Probably not, I don't think.
How excited would you be if they announced a new Mega Man?
Bobby, it's probably a question for Bobby. Bobby, you a Mega Man fan?
Yeah, I mean, I played them. Do I care about another one to do the same thing I could have played before? No.
What would it take for Mega Man to make you? What would they need to do to make you go, guys, you've got to check this out? They've released a new Mega Man video and it's phenomenal.
I can't.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say make it like Metroid Prime or something like that.
No, even Metroid Prime I didn't like either.
So not your genre.
It's not that. It's that. It's just like it's done. Like how many like Mario at this point can do anything. You could take Mario and put him into a horror game. You could take Mario and put him into a building simulator, racing. Literally, Mario could do anything. Doesn't even have to even follow a story. People are gonna buy it because it's Mario. Can't do that with everything. Yeah, I think the reason why Breath of the Wild is still with Zelda is so good is because it just kind of hits that nostalgia area where he's always been about exploration and everything, and it still works. But how many more Zeldas can you get like that? After a while, it just becomes like repetitive. I mean, I guess most games nowadays are going to be the same over and over and over again, just different skins and whatever. But for Mega Man, that era of the 2D, 2.5D, I just think it's done. I'm
Are you
not
talking
really
about like games of that genre in general, or just Mega Man?
just like don't get me wrong, there's obviously Mega Man's fan, there's Pokemon fans, like they have make all these different things, different style of games, but like after a while, it's just like okay, Mega Man, like Mega Man 20 is gonna come out, great. I'm done. I don't know. I mean, I'm a Mega Man. I like Mega Man. I probably won't buy another Mega Man game unless it's something totally different. Like you want to release another Batman game. Okay, you're gonna forget about Gotham Knights. Make a real deal, this generation console Batman game. What are you gonna do? It's gonna be like
Batman Beyond would be dope.
It would, but let's see if they're gonna do it. Then I would be interested in it, where it would be different than before. The reason why most people picked Batgirl in Gotham Knights was because she played what everybody was used to with Batman's cape flapping around. That's why I picked her personally. I just was used to that.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
But in a Mega Man game, I don't know. Like Resident Evil 4, don't care about the remake. I didn't play any of the remakes.
What if Mega Man actually came as a good version of Callisto Protocol? Super realistic, dodging, up close fighting. Would that be enough of a change to make you go, if they used like the Resident Evil 2, 3 remake engine and then slapped out a Mega Man where it was visceral and it was nasty?
Let's say you did something like Dead Spacey with Mega Man. That's, you could change his arm, different cannons, different robot creatures. I would just play Dead Space.
Do you feel the same way about Devil May Cry?
I played the first 3 games, didn't play anything else.
Okay. So
like God of War, like when God of War got announced, I'm like, oh my God, I know who's he gonna kill now? Like I was getting annoyed.
And it sounds like you have sequel fatigue.
But then when they announced he's gonna be in another mythology, I was like, all right, that's not so bad, I guess. Then they changed the gameplay up. All right, that's all right. Now it's a different game. If you gave me God of War 4, just like God of War 3, it's like, I mean, because I enjoy it, I'd probably still play it. But then I'm like, what's happening here?
So George, I think they are doing this showcase because they have like a couple of IPs coming down the pipeline. We already got confirmed that they're doing Resident Evil 4 remake, Monster Hunter Rise. They also have Street Fighter coming down the pipeline.
That's what I was. I don't know why. The reason why it's in the news is I've got no idea why that didn't form part of an announceable part of your showcase when it's really going to be one of the strongest arrows in your quiver going into this year and into next. Obviously, sustaining that game online with its social functions and multiplayer. And from what I understand, you create your own character and you can have like a career within Street Fighter 6. Amazing. Great. Why aren't they pumping that down our throat like corn down the neck of a foie gras goose? It seems like the most logical thing. I understand Resident Evil being there, it's coming out, got to get them hyped, got to get the money out of our pockets. But as far as your other strong franchises go, why are they not listing that? Unless that's a surprise, but if that's a surprise, we already know about it. So it's kind of like RGT playing his Master System, wrapping it all back up again and pretending to be excited on Christmas Day morning. Not only was he disappointed in himself, he was disappointed in the system, and his parents were disappointed in him as well. And I don't quite get what they're doing. You would only presumably do something like this if you had an absolute banger behind the gates that we didn't know about.
Here's the reason why they're not doing it at E3, to answer your previous question, is because they don't want, or at least an E3 like showcase like Jeff Keighley's like Summer Game Fest. You do think events like this, and I'm speaking from a marketing perspective as well, because that's my trade by occupation, but like you do things like this to basically not be overshadowed by the events of a 4-hour showcase, because like if you don't come hard with like a 3 premiere events, you're just lost in the shuffle of whatever that day is. And that's the reason why, like, historically in E3's past, you had an Xbox day, a Nintendo day, and a PlayStation day. It wasn't just because like the ESA commission for E3 said, hey, these are the days you're putting. It's because those companies requested a certain day where they can rule their own, like, rule the timeline of we have the news dominated for that particular day. But like, to going back to this though, I don't think this is going to blow everyone away. This is probably more than a blog post, and you're probably going to get more SEO traffic than you would from a blog post announcement, which is why you do a showcase like this, especially if you have like a disembodied voice, or like you hire a influencer to just do like some of the vocals over that. It's a cheap thing that you can do to get marketing buzz like very easily. So I would probably say they only show like a couple of games that they already announced, have updates about those games. From my understanding, Street Fighter already has like all of its like core main fighters already announced for the game. So a lot of that would be just if they had a DLC announcement similar to what they did with Super Smash Brothers, this would be a place to announce like, hey, we have a battle pass, so to speak.
So are you telling me if I said right now, next Thursday, 9 p.m. GMT on the UCP Discord, it's going to be the UCP Spotlight, talking about the future of the show and some of the upcoming things that we've got coming out? That would be a buzz. Because I'm thinking we need a UCP Spotlight right now.
Yeah. Well, I got a question, right?
Can we get
You're going to do the spotlight on the show. You're going to, reveal, let's just say, argument's sake, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Mega Man, just for example, or a new Final Fight game. If you're doing it like that, are you going to create more buzz for the game, or are new people going to be like, oh wow, another Mega Man going to get cited for, or is it going to be the same people who already love these type of games waiting for this to watch? Like if you're doing the marketing, like back in the day, I would get more excited in a magazine. There's no internet, so whatever the magazine has, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I read about it, that thing. Now I have information all the time. So if I'm already not interested in this or that, I'm probably not going to watch this. Unless I was curious about what you're going to announce. Does that work? Does that actually work, like with marketing?
Yeah,
like if you were doing that?
For sure. This is why they do these showcases and such like that. Like, this is why the Nintendo Direct has worked so well. This is why the State of Play has worked so well. Like, yeah, a lot of times for the State of Play coming up, they tell us ahead of time, like, hey, like it'll be 35 minutes. This is kind of what to expect. Don't expect any first party announcements. People still show up to that in droves. Like, people are still going to show up to this in droves. Like, if you look on the day this is coming out, I believe you said March 9th. Like, this is going to be trending on Twitter, and for them, that's a win. Like, that's an easy win. They probably didn't have to pump a whole lot of money into this. So like, this is a lot cheaper than running a marketing campaign by doing a lot of like commercials on network cable. This is a lot, because like, you get to control your own narrative here. You also get to like you get to control your own narrative. You get to control your own release calendar. You get to control all the information. You don't have to work with any partners.
I suppose from their point of view, and smaller studios, and even the bigger studios capitalize on this as well, this is the cheapest option going to engage with your customers.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, this is cheaper, and you get to control everything about it.
Wow. Okay. Well, now we've had a breather. Now we've had a palate cleanser, as the show is famous for. Seb, hit us up with this third piece of news, friend.
All right. What kind of voice should I do with this one?
Listen, I'm not here to dictate to you how you want to present your character to us. You just let the thespian within you flow like a river. Let's call it the Orinoco flow. Yeah, give it to us.
Many of you have probably been following Xbox's ongoing Activision Blizzard negotiations.
What? As one thespian to another, what made you choose that?
I had a Hogwarts Legacy in me right there.
There's a
I have
test
no
for
idea.
that. You need to be careful because I do believe it can be spread very easily from toilet seats.
Like the clap.
Yeah.
Crabs as well.
In fact, there is no test. It's just Revelio at someone's crotch. And boom.
Revelio.
Yeah.
They like to jump on a pube here and there. Depends where you go.
Okay. No.
Many of you have probably been following Xbox's ongoing Activision Blizzard's negotiations, with Microsoft still trying to secure regulatory approval for its mammoth deal. As was perhaps expected, PlayStation has become one of Microsoft's biggest obstacles for the deal going ahead. And it looks like the PlayStation owner will soon have to start showing more evidence to back up some of its arguments. Late last month, Microsoft issued a subpoena to Sony, an order for the Japanese company to provide documents relating to the deal for an FTC court hearing. That FTC court hearing goes ahead this August, although a similar EU showdown had just happened. But thanks to a new judge order, we know a bit more about what Sony will have to explain ahead of a final decision. Of 6 districts' requests Sony made to limit information provided to Microsoft and to the FTC, 4 have been declined and 2 have been granted. So basically, Sony will need to fully explain 4 requests it wanted to restrict information on, but 2 requests won't have to be fully detailed by the PlayStation owner. Got that? We think we do. Just about anyways. Okay. Some of these 6 requests aren't particularly relevant to us as onlookers and relate more to the hearing itself, but a few of them are pretty interesting. Sony has managed to wiggle its way out of providing performance reviews or evaluations for its CEO Jim Ryan, while PlayStation owners has also managed to limit Microsoft's access to information on existing third-party deals, like those with Activision over the Call of Duty franchise. Man, you wrote an encyclopedia over here.
You need, the thing is, we need all the facts here because there's a lot going on. And I think we could probably rest it there, actually. There is some more information. But I think my main takeaway is this. Microsoft want to buy Activision. Fair play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of company wranglings to either complicate it, to drag it out, to be costly in court because that damages your opponents as well. It also pulls, and I think this is the main takeaway, like Microsoft are going to end up getting this deal. I think that's pretty much what the industry is saying. It's done. We've got a few things to go through, anti-monopoly here in the UK. I think the UK said no to it, but I think the EU is going to say yes, and probably with enough money thrown around in the US legal system, you could get, a famous American football player with blood on a glove away with murder. So I'm thinking that if Microsoft throw enough money at this, they're going to get the Activision Blizzard deal. That's great. Now, the collateral damage here is, for them, it's quite a bit of money, but it's not a great deal. But now they've got Sony bringing in literally their blueprint of how they monetize their platform. They were trying to find out how CEO Jim Ryan is remunerated. I guess Big Uncle Phil's looking for a pay rise to make sure he's remunerated in the same way. Why that's relevant, I don't know. Some of the stuff they've asked for is relevant. Some of the stuff for I'm questioning whether it is relevant. Some of the length of time they wanted to go back to 2012 and wanted analysis on every third-party relationship Sony had since then, which is interesting to say the least, but they've managed to limit that to 3 years. I think my takeaway from this news is it's a win-win for Microsoft. You've dragged Sony through the court as being anti-gamer because they won't share and they won't give things away, and that's proved pretty successful. Games Pass has some pretty powerful momentum. Somehow the social media sphere has span up that massive multi-billion pound empire Microsoft, which, let's face it, have been pretty scandalous with the way they've remunerated from Microsoft Windows products over the years. They've been hailed as the hero of gaming for the gamer very generous to the gamer out of all of this. And Sony's been labeled as that person that locks you away and makes you pay $70 for every game they defecate out on the floor, whether it's good or bad. And they've also got to look at Sony's very intimate details and paperwork. You would imagine RGT, that would be a bit of a win-win for Microsoft, this whole Active Blizzard. It started dirty, it looked a bit shaky, and actually, do you know what? They're going to end up with Call of Duty in their back pocket and a blueprint on how Sony's been doing business. Now, you can either run that through the court and leak it to the papers, in which case, Sony's been remunerating to X from every pound spent, blah, 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 blah. It's a pretty damning thing to start chucking around in the press, but it's all going to be based on facts provided by Sony themselves, so it's going to be irrefutable. What's your thoughts on all of this?
To be honest, the longer this goes on, the more I'm sick of hearing about this Activision Blizzard deal. It is, they're buying a studio, they're buying one of the biggest studios. Sony have been fighting that the whole way, whether right or wrong.
Bit them in the backside now, hasn't it?
It has, and it's gone down this dirty route. Well, if you do that, well, I'm doing this, and I'm going to tell them that you did this. And it's just like, look, they're going to buy it anyway. Whether you think it's right or wrong, whether how big you think Call of Duty will be in 10 years, I don't know. Microsoft have bought a lot of studios of late, whether that's because of that's a fallout from the Xbox One era, the lack of exclusives. They're trying to buy the studios in to get the exclusives. I don't know. But I think Sony have got enough in the bag to just let this deal happen. They've got enough games. They've got enough good IPs. Let the deal go. Microsoft are going down a different route anyway. Let them go down that route. If Sony just keep doing what they're doing strong, they don't need to fight this. And as we spoke on the show before, will Call of Duty be a big thing in 10 years? They've been offered this 10-year deal. Is it worth signing a 10-year deal, having it on, and see where Call of Duty go? I mean, they've got people under them that could make, if FPS games,
the thing is, if
games,
you take, the thing is, I suppose my take on it would be this: if you take the deal, the 10-year deal, you are perpetuating COD. Therefore, it will be here in 10 years' time. If you don't take the deal, and Nintendo hadn't took the deal, it maybe would have slipped off the landscape. But now, it's going to end up being a big deal. And if Sony don't sign that deal now, will COD still be relevant in 10 years with games as a service as they are? I don't know. Maybe not. I know that a lot of our listeners, they latch in for the latest multiplayer section of certain games, for the COD games. Some of them latch in for the story only. Some of them latch in for both, but normally it's and/or. I think I'd be in maybe the single player camp, but I'd probably give the multiplayer a miss. But there's that many military shooters out there across so many different consoles and generations that I think we've pretty much spent more time at war than an actual soldier would do. Seb, what do you make of all this?
It's a dying fight at this point. Xbox.
What do you think about that? What I would call coup de grace from Microsoft, where Sony have literally got to bring their dirty laundry to this do.
I'm gonna be honest. Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer are like they meet regularly. They probably already share trade secrets anyways. I'm like, I don't feel like Xbox is going to get any information they already didn't know.
But they're going to have publicly detailed information about Sony's remuneration and profit policies for the last 3 years.
I'm going to be honest.
Deep inside stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of the legal teams and accounting teams that do that work for one company work for a lot of multiple different companies. So like they probably already have this information. And
I know, but you can't. They're all bound to NDAs. This is the first time this will have been dragged out for public scrutiny.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is like for public scrutiny, I mean, the public knowing about it is a different thing than Xbox knowing about it. Like Xbox already has a lot of this information, and like a lot of, like there are no such things as like, hey, PlayStation practices or this, Xbox's practices are like extremely different. I'm like, it's really hard to keep a secret in one industry. So I'm like,
why would Microsoft need to see performance reviews or evaluation, although it's been refuted and they're not allowed access to it? Why would they ask for
It's just
performance reviews on or evaluations on how CEO Jim Ryan's remunerated? That seems odd.
Isn't it? It's tactical.
Exactly, it's a tactic. It's one of those things to where I'm like, if Sony wants to make this as ugly as possible, you show them like it can get uglier.
Deflect
you know what
off
I mean?
yourself. That's all it is. Deflecting away. They've made us out to look like we're buying every studio and it's bad for gaming. We'll deflect and go on to their financial reports of how apparently they've been paying to keep things off Games Pass. So deflect it straight back onto Sony and then let the deal go through. I think that's pretty much what
I also think we're going to get to see through this, sadly, we're going to end up finding a little bit more about games that are in development that we don't really know anything about from both sides to justify an argument for bringing COD. And I just feel like COD's held up as this mega franchise. Oh, well, you can't have gaming without it. It's been dragged through the press. In a way, this has elevated COD's waning reputation to be something that, gamers should care about. I'm not saying they don't care about it. I'm not saying it's not a multi-million franchise. But, yeah. Bobby, would you share your wages in an argument if you thought they were going to be shared publicly?
No.
I mean, on another side of the fence, I'm like, Sony has rumoredly bought out Ballistic Moon recently. Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah, but I'm waiting for something a little bit more solid before we put it in the news. I think that was broken by Colin Moriarty over on Sacred Symbols. I think he was the first person to sort of air that story, and I think that came from some sort of online pitching website, which pretty good journalistic chops.
Yeah, it's not like a substantial thing yet, but like what is substantial is like the rumors that they're like Sony's held off on buying a major studio in the game because of this like lawsuit, and rumor is that was going to be Square. Like, so
that all pointed to Square, didn't it? That was all pointing at Square.
Yeah. So here's my thing. It's just like, as soon as this deal goes off, I feel like we're going to hear about the acquisition of Square Enix. And I think they're holding off right now because they don't want to look bad in the narrative. I think
that deal's been done behind closed doors.
Oh, for sure.
There's a reason Final Fantasy isn't on.
To be honest, it makes sense as well, because it would be the coming home of a few. Don't Square own Tomb Raider as well? So it'd be like
no. They got rid of that. That's Embracer Group now.
Oh,
that's Embracer Group.
They sold off a lot of the old Ps.
Another
my
Tomb
God.
Raider trilogy happening.
Yeah. So think about it like this. So Square now only has their Japanese-based IPs. They sold off all the Western-based IPs off to individual properties. Most of those were bought off by Embracer Group.
Ugh.
So that like the reason being is because like they've always been a Japanese first brand, and they also like that's what Sony is heavily appealed to. Those
be honest,
kinds of
I think,
and they sold them cheap as well. They sold them cheap.
Bringing in Final Fantasy under Sony's wing. I mean, I've said it about COD. I'm going to say it now. How relevant is Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy 15 is one of the biggest games playing right now. Like, it has one of the biggest online bases right now. And, I believe like the 16 right now is all like pre-orders are right now really substantial. Final Fantasy is like, and then Final Fantasy 7 was one of the highest, like was one of the highest selling games of like 7 Remake was one of the highest selling games of the PS4 era. Like that franchise is not a dying franchise.
Wow.
No, it's true.
Thing is, you're only as good as your last Final Fantasy game. And to be honest with you, we have the whole sort of conspiracy theory of odd numbers, even numbered Final Fantasies. I liked The Last Effort. I really did. I thought it was one of the best. And I also enjoyed 13. And this one's looking like it's going to be good, but I'm nervous that we've got a duffer. They put a lot of effort into the remake. And I hope it hits. But if
they have a duffer, I'm like, you got Final Fantasy 7-2 coming out as well, like part 2 coming out.
I mean, if it's true and Sony did buy the studio Square for Final Fantasy, would it really make a difference?
Are we talking about like the difference for what?
Like, like if they bought them, I mean, as far as I understand, Final Fantasy was never even on Xbox, right?
No, like that's the point we're making. Like they've always like lately they've been.
It's almost like a kind of like a
exclusives.
weird partnership, kind of like.
Yeah, they've been in a relationship forever, so to speak.
Yeah, so would it really matter? Like, all right, big deal. I mean, I don't think an Xbox player would really care, or a Nintendo player would really care.
Yeah, a couple of the last Final Fantasy games were rumored to be coming to Xbox, and were saying they were coming to Xbox, and then suddenly didn't. That's all gone quiet. They haven't appeared on the system, but I know
those pixel
I know of
remasters?
2 people who are Xbox players that were so gutted they went out and bought a PlayStation so they can play Final Fantasy.
Wow,
Really?
so I'm just not
Yes.
behind the 8 ball enough
So
on this FF.
I still think with Final Fantasy, I think there's still a big audience for that.
There's a huge audience. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's one of the biggest. It's probably one of the top like 10 IPs on the face of the planet in games right now.
It can't be bigger than COD.
No, for sure.
Nothing's
COD's
bigger than
the-
that. That's
No,
number one. That's gotta be.
COD's the number one selling.
You know what would be
IP every
interesting?
year.
To get somebody who's a real COD player on the show for a little bit, ask them some questions.
Oh, we know one.
Yeah, we do. Bring them on the show.
Go in
Ask 'em.
dark.
Yeah, go in. Don't tell them anything.
Brilliant.
Ask them questions we feel we want to know the answers to, and figure out what makes this game so appealing.
That's brilliant.
Like, I mean, I don't really go online, so I'm not really an online guy. I will play online though. I'm not against it. To me, I'm just curious as what makes every Call of Duty come out and then go. It's interesting.
And I think
It'll be
when I
interesting.
was in the COD ecosystem, I don't know. I don't know what I was excited about. I was kind of kept lukewarm by the multiplayer back in the day. And then the next one would come out and you'd tear through the career. But I fell off that wagon. And I'm shocked people are still on it to the severity that they are. I guess I'm just one of these old generation gamers. Thank God I'm here, because all you 3 young bucks keep reminding me that I'm probably dead from the eyebrows down.
I mean, I guess if you think about it, right? If everyone has Call of Duty and all your friends are playing it, it's just another way to just be with your friends and do something.
I think that was basically the way
and it's pretty mindless, right? I mean, I don't think it's anything really to it. It's not like you're playing Rainbow Six or something where it's a little bit more
Tactical.
Yeah, right. This is just like, listen, and everyone probably plays what, deathmatch or team deathmatch, which is probably what I would think would be the most popular
So,
thing of this, right? And just go crazy and have fun. That's really what it is, right?
That is what it is.
So to put ourselves like, I always want to give like genres the benefit of the doubt here, and always, to play devil's advocate here, like Call of Duty players can look at us, for instance, and say like, hey, we feel the same way about FIFA, about NBA 2K, about Madden of the world. Like it's almost in the world we live in, there's fast food, and that's like the instant gratification instance, like the instance of getting substance quickly. I'm like, for gamers, it's a lot of the same way. We like our comfort food games, and for them, it's Call of Duty. For us, it might be something completely different.
What's my comfort food game?
Oh, simulators.
Simulators.
Yeah.
Simulators.
How dare you?
I hear about like so many weird simulators I never thought I'd hear.
Never heard of.
Kayak VR simulator and a simulator is a way of life. That's what I'm saying.
Here, check this out real quick. We'll start with George. We know simulator. That would be, I guess, your thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
What would be your thing,
transpires?
Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we've got to throw one on
games.
in.
Obscure games that obscure games.
Yeah, that's probably be.
I don't know. RGT's a bit of a sucker for a blockbuster, if I'm honest with you. He wants RGT's a single player narrative adventure kind of cat who wants to have a reasonably linear experience, but still feel like he's traveled the world and seen some amazing things. He wants to be the epicenter of a Hollywood movie.
No. Hold on. I think, we haven't brought in the Harvestella of the room, so to speak.
That's just a red herring that he threw out
I
there.
mentioned that.
I was about to say, I'm like, Harvestella ran this man's life for a year.
Oh, God,
Stardew Valley runs his life, but I think if he had to throw his coat down, Bobby's like your soul's whore.
I would call him a
basically.
very Souls gamer.
Yeah,
I do
wants
like a good open world too. I don't know. I guess I like the exploring aspect.
Yeah, I do like that.
But he wants the rewarding,
in Dark Souls, you don't know what's going
combat.
on. You just got to figure it out. But also on the easier side, if I'm walking and there's a question mark, I have to go.
So you're an open world question mark chaser.
I guess. I mean, if I had to pick now,
question mark chaser.
I think that's something we all have in common though, because like all of us love open world adventure games, so to speak.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I like horror too. I love horror. I just don't really.
I'm out.
I just play them separately. I don't really go for anything in depth too much. Because a lot of horror games are short, and you gotta play them repeatedly. I don't have time for that.
And
I do love a good horror game. Though.
So let's now work out what's Seb. Now I see Seb, although he doesn't know it yet, as like maybe an F1 manager kind of guy. I think maybe a good aquatic simulation guy. I think Seb likes fun, frantic, rewarding games, not only from a visual aesthetic with the colours and the interesting bits and bobs there, but he also likes the hook of something a little bit deeper, something a little bit more challenging. He's got an eye for He's got an eye for an artisan's touch with these indie games, but his dirty secret is he likes a mainstream, big, franchised, heavy-hitting open world game. He doesn't want to admit it to us. He doesn't want to admit it.
I admit it. I'll admit it right now. I love that. I am a story centric gamer. Like that's my like meat and potatoes. That like gets me up in the morning. That's what gets me excited. Like give me a nice world where I can live out a story. That's my primary game. And then I kind of like my fast food games are those games to where I can just like have a good gameplay hook. Something that has like a gameplay hook that'll get into me, like Cult of the Lamb, like a smaller indie title. Those are my fast food games. But like give me something where I can be like a Jedi to where it has like a really enticing story. I'm there all the way. That's my like mommy.
Yeah. Me and Seb, so we're very similar, me and Seb then. We're very similar.
Yeah. Seb's at the UCP dictionary lately, and he's got the mommy. He's got it all going on.
That's why I ask you these questions so I can learn the terminology.
Okay. Well,
mummy.
Let's I think we really need to move on to the next bit of news, and we need to roll in the king for this last bit of news. RGT, what you got for what little gem have you discovered out there?
I knew I'd be on this one. It only rolls one way. There have been some strange uses for Switch Joy-Cons over the past 6 years of the console's existence. We've strapped them to our legs to kick footballs in Nintendo Switch Sports. We've held them vertically to milk virtual cows. 1-2 Switch. And let's not forget, God, you even got a virtual udder. Let's not forget.
Let's leave that there.
That's what Mrs. RGT was doing on the Switch. I did wonder.
Online with me.
Yeah.
Very naughty.
I was, yeah. She said that was an udder, but I don't know. Anyway, let's not forget the discovery that they can be used as a stand-in Wii remote sensor. But no game has come up with quite as weird use for them as the recently released Give Me Toilet Paper.
Can I just say, that was a little bit lewd, Mrs. RGT, and I do apologise. I wouldn't deign to touch your virtual udders. They're for RGT to... What's this? Carry on with this news.
Yeah, I'll save you here. Instead of waving the remote around or holding it in a funny angle, this new title from publisher Takahiro Miyazawa.
You know what?
Miyazawa.
I would say that was flawless. I actually thought you were Sensei RGT for a moment.
Sensei. Requires you to pop a Joy-Con inside of a toilet roll. Really? Disable the first.
No, this is real, friend.
And roll
do you have April Fool's Day?
Movements.
Yeah, we do in the UK.
Yeah,
April 1st. Yeah.
Okay.
and roll it around to control the movements of a virtual toilet tissue on screen. Give me toilet paper, or have you navigating a series of trapdoors, lasers, and baddie toilet rolls. Yes, you heard that right. These ones have got nasty red spikes on them. Ouch.
A little bit like stitching chili in your toilet roll.
I have so many questions. So many questions.
To help deliver the much-needed package to a man well in need. This is an action game in which you prepare toilet paper with a Joy-Con in it and roll it around on a board. There is toilet paper in the game, and it is linked to your toilet paper. If you roll your toilet paper left and right, the toilet paper in the game will also roll left and right. Oh my God, there's no toilet paper. Let's help a man in big trouble. You are the ordinary toilet paper in every house, but you can roll at will. And now there is a man in need of toilet paper. You start from the ceiling of the toilet and go your way round to the man, but all sorts of traps await you along the way. Help the man by avoiding or taking advantage of them. The visuals look pretty rudimentary, we'll admit, but this is a game where you'll drop a toilet roll for a dangerous maze, so there is no use going in expecting Breath of the Wild now, is there?
So, okay, random. I'm sorry. Continue. I just have to.
We all have questions. We all have them.
Give Me Toilet Paper is now available to download from Switch eShop, but for the cheap price of £3.60, €4 or $5. Is this Game of the Year material? Probably not, but it's a small price to pay for an evening of weird entertainment.
First of all, I'm buying this game.
No, you're not.
People need to know about this, don't they?
Number one. Number two. Okay, I'm gonna be PG.
Number 1s and 2s.
I'm gonna be PG.
In America, do you call a wee a 1 and a poo a 2?
No. Not no.
Okay. In the UK, we did. So your labeling of your points.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do use
we
that.
Do
slang,
that.
But
He
we
doesn't
don't really
do
say
that
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too much. Like at work, listen, I'm using the bathroom.
Exactly.
I mean, we know what you're gonna do though, because no one says I'm using the bathroom when I do number 1. You just go when you come back. You go to number 2, I'm using the bathroom, so they know
you're gone for a bit.
Yeah, please don't text me now. I have a situation. Okay, that's a situation. Okay. Here's my thing. Ready? I imagine this game that there is a man on the toilet bowl. Okay, and
there is,
and he has just taken a number 2.
He has,
and it's floating around on the toilet bowl.
This is.
And my visual is that you have to go through a maze with a toilet paper, right? And then at the end of the journey, when you get there, the toilet paper goes up and wipes the buttocks clean. That's how I imagine this game.
This game, RGT's done. Basically, you take your Joy-Con, you stick it in a used toilet roll, you hold a tray, and you use that to control the toilet roll as it moves its way down a series of shelves above the man doing his number 2.
Oh, I had this completely wrong. I was going from the down up, not from the top down.
Oh,
okay.
Here's what I listeners, let's have a challenge here.
Okay.
We're implementing the first challenge. You know, like anyone play this game, we want to see screenshots in the Discord. Whoever has the best screenshots wins the prize for the week, wins the award of the week.
Yeah, you can
of this particular.
I will
game.
send you something for the best picture. To pre-qualify, you need a Switch and an empty toilet roll.
This also reminds me of when I got in trouble when I was doing my Instagram thing on Thursdays, when I did games you could play while taking a
Oh wow.
poop. I had it. I'm the only one on Instagram with that hashtag. And I was like, games you can play quickly while you're on the bowl, basically. That was the thing. Then HR found out about it and I had to stop with this drama. But now I'm not there no more. So I would like to continue. Thought it was pretty funny because I got a laugh out of it. It's like you're on the bowl, you got something to do, you can play this game real quick, and you're out.
Sit in the toilet with a tray on your lap.
Now this is like
Joy-Con.
This is amazing. should we be on the bowl while you do it?
You've got to report back. You've got to let
I
us
could record
know.
footage of that. It's not a problem. I just have to put the camera right there. Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds like right up UCP's alley.
As soon as the show's over, I'm purchasing it. Eva's going to look at me like, what are you doing? Eva, trust the process, girl. Hit record. Let's do this.
Tray, toilet roll, head into the bathroom.
Put it in portrait mode. Put it in portrait mode. Also,
he's very disappointed.
I don't even close the bathroom door anymore. Okay, we're at that point in our relationship. It's been years. It's always open. Let's have a conversation. Just record it. I'll play the game. Let's get it done.
Hang on a minute, Bobby. Woo, stop. Like, I think it's beautiful that you and Eva have arrived at this point in time in your relationship where you can have the door open while you're doing an
No, just me. She closes the door.
Okay, she closes it. But you've decided, no, this is such an intimate moment. I want to share this. Let's just imagine that you had a slightly more undigested item of food. And you, as a very pale individual, I imagine you can go red very quickly on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're in there, you're having a little bit of trouble passing a stool.
Yep.
So you're red faced, you've got your feet up on the sink, you're straining, you're like, oh, she thinks you're doing powerlifting.
Yeah.
Actually, you're just passing. And she happens to walk by and sees you in this, what can only be described as, I don't know, crouching tiger, chicken laying an egg type pose. How does the conversation continue then over like a croissant for breakfast? Is it a little bit of a passion killer, or is it just like this is just normal?
It's just normal at this point. I forgot how it started exactly. But we were having a conversation. Yeah, we were having a conversation, and I'm like, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom. But I'm like, no, hold on, let's leave the door open. It's not a big deal, you know. But it was, and at that point, I'm like, you know what? Who cares? And then my cats join me as well. They like to sit there for some reason.
Do they have their litter tray in the bathroom?
No. They just sit next to me and look up at me, and I pet them.
Do you think they go to their tray after taking inspiration from their Lord and Master, or
to tell you the truth?
Yeah,
they do. They do. And then what happens is I clean up myself and I clean their box. It's like a routine we have now.
Their cat litter box.
Yep, so let me bring this full circle. I have a couple of follow-up questions about this title, so to speak. Bobby, I'm looking forward to seeing screenshots of you play this game.
Some will be Discord only.
No, for sure.
Some will be private DMs of just my crew with you guys.
Okay, so
that's not OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. OnlyFans,
only bowls,
only bowls.
All right, so I think my first question is for George here. George, how did you discover this GM?
I just saw an article about it, I think, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. What grabbed me, first of all, I didn't initially pick up on the whole toilet aspect of it. I think I saw like a picture of someone with a tray or a piece of wood, I think it was, with a Joy-Con and a toilet roll. And I was like, oh, crikey. What's this? I need to know more about this. This is a new and innovative way to interact with the game. I wonder what it is. Is it like Labo? Is it... No. It's a game about getting a toilet roll to a guy who's having a number 2. Let me do some more digging. And to be honest, what I uncovered was this. It's easy to deride it, admittedly, because it's based around toilet humor. It's based around a human function and all that sort of stuff. But what struck me was the bravery of actually saying, we're going to release a game. We're not going to be reliant on a peripheral outside of what you've already got to play the game. What we're going to give you is a very cheap and affordable toilet roll holder. Now, whether this came out of R&D or what, I don't know. Seb, get your Sherlock Holmes hat on. Go super sleuthing. I'd like to speak to these people. Like, what came first, chicken or egg? Was it the fact that they were finding new ways to interact with the Switch and therefore go put one in a toilet roll, and from there the mind ran away with them and it was a game about delivering a toilet roll? Or did it start off as something else? Were you rolling?
I think I have it here, in my opinion. This guy was playing a game on a toilet bowl. Probably ran out of toilet paper and was like asking his partner, hey, can I get on the toilet paper roll? Because there's none here. And was waiting a little bit and was just curious I was like, hey, this Joy-Con fits inside the toilet paper roll. Now, what I didn't know is that the technology of the Joy-Con has this technology where you can roll.
Yeah, gyroscopes, yeah.
Which is phenomenal. I didn't know that. When I played Breath of the Wild, I thought it just did, this thing. Didn't know what I actually could spin.
Yeah, you see it in games like 1-2 Switch and stuff like that, but it's not utilized very often.
Oh wow! Well, this is game breaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've Nintendo tried this with a Labo and everyone rewarded them for it, and they did actually win some awards and plaudits. But this is a developer that's gone, we're not really utilizing the motion aspects of this console at all, really, outside of the first party titles. So to get Brave is a strong word. It's $3.60, it's €4, or it's $5. It's not breaking the bank. It's pocket money change. It's the sort of money you'd spend on a coffee, right? But it's grabbed headlines, certainly on this show, with lowbrow entertainment, fair play. But I think it's interesting. We need to see more of this.
You will.
On the Discord.
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to take a great and excellent picture. I'm going to get the best picture possible. Okay. We're going to call our friend. Okay. And we're going to have him be like, hey, bro, do me a favor. Make this the game cover. An exclusive Nintendo Switch cover. Our first one produced by the show. Of me and Tolbo with the title of the game.
Reach out to him, Seb. We've got lots of different propositions for him off the back of this.
I'm sure he'll be eager. I have
Who's banging at the door like a man who's had his morning coffee and realised that he didn't take his morning safety poop and now has what feels like the Red Sea trying to burst out of his back doors.
And, maybe we'll finally get the age-old answer to the question of, like, how should you hang your toilet paper? Should you do it over or under?
Now, this is something that, I don't know why this is important to me. And I know it's not necessarily correct, okay? Because I know from a decorum point of view, the paper's meant to come to the front, okay? But I like to see the paper come to the back and slide down the wall. It's neat, it's tidy, it's tucked away. It seems to make sense to me. It almost is like a dispenser in itself that way.
Yeah.
The other way around, it looks like something you want to grab if you fall near the toilet. And it's like a never-ending rope of comedy because you're just never going to be able to get traction on that bad boy without splanting your face off the side of the bowl. My way and Bobby's way means the paper's tucked out the way. It's not fettered around with human hands. For most of the part, it's covered as well and away from small micro droplets of urine which explode out of the bowl during the passing of a number one.
Lord.
Those guys who have the paper swooping down the front, I know society dictates to us that's the correct way and the one that many people say is the right way to hang a toilet paper. But you're basically wiping your back door on a piece of paper that's basically covered. And especially if you go to a public restroom or somewhere like that, you're basically wiping your backside on a micro dotted piece of urine paper. Is that something you would choose to do out of choice? Just to hang the paper the right way, or do you want to get on the George and Bobby program and use the wall as a kind of shield for your poop paper?
I'm a shielder for me.
Yeah, I'm a shielder.
So RGT, as a person who's
Seb's
married,
hunting for a friend, like, please tell me.
No, as a person who's married, your wife is probably the one who dictates how the paper should be hung. How do y'all do it in your household?
I don't know how we got onto this, and if you are still listening, thank you so much. But
thank you.
We've got
for real. Thank you.
If you're not, I understand.
This is the best gold the show's ever trotted out at this point.
We've got a little narrow cupboard with a slot in the top, and the toilet roll goes in, and that just comes out of the top of the slot. And
you're an over family.
Oh.
Wait, no, because he knows the danger, Seb. He's actually built a wooden box to protect his paper.
So wait a minute, you have a contraption and you pull out?
Yeah, it's like a very narrow cupboard. About 2/3 of a metre tall, little narrow cupboard, and the cupboard door, and you could stack the toilet rolls in on shelves, and then in the top one, there's a slit in the top.
No, mate.
Wow.
In the top one. What? No. So
this is amazing.
You stand up. You run the risk of your cheeks touching.
No. You don't stand up. No,
You don't stand up.
No, you don't stand up. You just put it at the
Riveting
top. It's next to you.
stuff.
It's only 3/4 of a meter tall.
This is beautiful.
Oh, okay. So right, okay. So it's only
So it's
waist
just,
high.
Yeah. So it's about that high, and you can just put it at the top.
Do you wheel it in, or is it like in a ready to go position?
No, it's just there. It matches the other cupboards. It's just there.
This should be the
best thing
title of
I've
the
ever heard.
episode. This should be it. Should your toilet paper go over or under?
Yeah, we need Discord also. Get Bobo Lobo on it.
Over or under, and then a picture of the toilet roll to prove
Yeah.
how you do your roll.
Now, for me, I'm an under, but since I have a wife, it's over because I want to live. So,
Exactly.
Why do women want it over?
Because
the
women
men want
love
the
aesthetics. And
The aesthetic of the under.
She's just like, it just looks nice like this. I don't care. I would like it the other way because I want to pull it.
I
don't
also
want to
think
pull
it
it
looks
down. I want to pull
neater.
it towards me.
If someone did a dirty tear and it went mid-sheet, not
You're gonna see it.
perforation, you can
Yes.
see it. And it's like, oh, God, look at
It
this.
takes bathroom points away from the aesthetic look.
Yeah, and immediately, as soon as you sit down, no matter how desperate you are to drop a bomb, right? I don't care if you're over the target, like
Yeah.
halfway across the channel. You're like, oh, God, sit down, boom. And then you look, and your whole situation has been sort of infected because although we know other people use the bathroom, although we know other people touch this paper, I don't want to know.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
when they did it.
No,
You know-
and we don't know whether they reached. They might have had a little bit of a blowout on the paper.
Could have
and-
been
and there's some collateral damage on the wiping hand. You
Yeah.
know,
100%.
might have got a little bit sticky down there. And if you're a roller like me and Bobby, and you wrap your hand in the paper, like that's like glue, and then all of a sudden you've got like what looks like a unicorn tail of toilet paper hanging out, and
Oh, God.
Yeah.
you've
It
got
sounds like
danger.
all this could be solved with a good old bidet. Bidet or bust.
Going back to
see-
the initial thing, yeah, I mean, a bidet, I don't know if that happened on air or off at this point in time. And if that was part of the preamble,
I'm more worried this is on air.
It's a delicate thing, a bidet, I guess. I mean,
I would, to be fair, I would like to try one. I think the gentle lapping of delicately warmed water on your nether regions is probably a little bit too rewarding. I think I'll be looking for an excuse.
would it come cold?
You can also tweak it to where it makes music when it splashes. So you could have it go, ah.
So for
as it
me, you
squirts.
could do like a PlayStation
That's-
trophy chime every time it
Mhm.
goes up the cleans it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, hang
That's
on.
amazing.
As an Englishman, a bidet is something that, you frequently see in high-class bathrooms. It's not something I've ever used. I remember when I went to a friend's house as a kid and they had a bidet, I was like, why have they got this toilet just for weeing in? I don't really understand what this is. It's never explained, is it? No one ever says to you, oh, by the way, that's a bidet, or what's a bidet? You don't get into this conversation. So when I was old enough to work them out, I don't know. So hang on, in a bidet, there's no paper wipage at all. You sit down on this warm throne. Wonderful. I'm looking at you for this information, Seb, because you seem to be like our MVP of bidets.
I don't want to be.
Not 4K, it's BK, bidet K,
wait,
whatever it
You
is.
poop in the bidet?
No, you don't poop in the bidet. You kind of cross.
Oh, God.
They're next to each other, and I think you kind of move them across, like moving a chicken to the chopping board. You kind
So
of
you
pick
got
it
to
up,
poop in the toilet bowl and then
Yeah.
get up and slide over
and then
to
you
the bidet?
slide across. And then I don't know enough about a bidet. I don't know whether you pull the plug and you fill it with a certain amount of water and basically ferret around in there with some soap, in which case you wipe in like raw poo over you. Like, I know there's a
So if you're
washing to
doing
go
that-
on, but
Why don't you just take a shower right after?
that's what I do.
That's the best way.
And you know what? You poo with the door open. I literally put camo face paint on, crawl on my belly like a snake, and I'm like, okay, right, in, door shut, tell everyone I'm having a shower. Obviously, if you get caught short of work, this is not possible. You just got to do a bit of what I would call a war zone poo. You got to just make the best of what you got, okay?
Mhm.
And there's damage here. There's damage, okay? My way, I sneak in. No one knows I'm having one. They're called an SP, a stealth poo, okay? I do my business. I get in the shower. I wash away all the sins, all of
Mhm.
it. Boom, I'm clean.
I feel like if I had a bidet, I would close the door.
What part of a bidet is so intimate that you can't have the door open for your wife?
just
to
feel
see? I
like-
don't know where this line gets.
Because
like,
you're gonna,
what-
I have to get up and move to the bidet. That's a little weird. Then I got to shoot the water to make it clean. It's a little personal.
Any more personal than she's already seen?
I mean, she's
Well, what is
sat
she
on the
really
edge of the
seeing?
bath right now, talking
She's
to you
just seeing
about whatever it
my
is.
leg and my body. Like, hey, what's up? I'm bleeding over. Type of conversation.
What happens if there'd been a bit of a car crash situation and been like a bit of a wet poo explosion down there? Would that be a door open or closed moment?
It's always open.
I'm so sorry, listeners, to this.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, let's switch
the
on
ray
to
is
community
hovering over
corrections.
us. The ray is hovering over us, demanding us change the subject at this moment.
The Ray is not bothered. The
I
Ray's
think Ray's
probably got a
gone.
B-day. He's not going to be on this episode. Community corrections. I think that's the news all done. I'm glad that we introduced that. Not only has it produced a rather off-topic conversation, which I think this show's been missing for some time, but it's also highlighted a wonderful and innovative Switch title that I think people should check out.
This game is already out.
Yeah, I think it is out. Yeah.
This is your mummy.
Yeah, Bobby's downloading.
It's not in the boot, but it can be. Okay. Community corrections. I didn't see any, so I don't think there were any. Okay. I don't know if anyone else noticed. It would flash up if there was one. So I think another flawless victory for the show, which is great. But if you've heard something that we've made a mistake on, the fact I didn't know about Square's exit stage left of the Tomb Raider franchise probably tells you all you need to know about this show. And if you want to flame me for that, then feel free to jump on there and do so. Don't forget, I'm the Stan Lee of the show, so I want a little cameo. That's all I ask. If you've heard my opinion or take on the news, or flat out just hope that you never want to go down the whole conversation we've been down ever again, or if you want more of that, but not necessarily about that, but maybe something else like that, feel free to throw in a question. Bobby, it's been a while. Let's make sure that tattoo hasn't been lasered off or you've got rid of it. Tell us, how would the collected masses get in contact with us and say, I don't know what a number 1 or number 2 is, but one thing I enjoy for sure is pooing with the door open. How would they let us know?
You can reach us over at Twitter and Instagram, over at Unofficial Controller Podcast for them. Then from that link, you can click the Discord, join us from the Discord, or you can email us like civilized people who use a toilet paper behind, at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com.
Oh, wonderful. Now, with all that said and done, the dust has settled and the smoke has cleared. The sound of a burbling drain at the bottom of the drive signifies there's a man who has his paper under. Do you think Ray has his paper under? I've said that now, and I'm like, I don't know.
I think Ray's definitely over. Like,
I don't think he even uses
what are we
it.
talking about?
No, I think Ray uses a hedge.
I think Ray is he's just a spreader. He's a spreader. He doesn't need it.
He's out of the
Ray
bluebird.
is like foul.
Yeah, pulls a bluebird over. Leaves
Yeah,
the
he's
door
just
open,
a
lay
spreader.
by in a hedge, pull him up, gone.
I've never imagined the Ray as foul as a beast as y'all have.
I mean,
he's different things to different folks.
Yeah.
This guy has done some stuff for me throughout the history of the show that I just can't even understand. And he's not like he's not a beast. He's not delicate. He's just what he is, and we appreciate for him for being himself.
I respect that.
He's like a Tomahawk cruise missile with a velvet hat on it.
100%, yeah.
It's not going to hurt any less, but it had a little bit of decorum when it rocked up. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot, what's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefriend All this week. These are the new release highlights for the week March 6th to March 12th, 2023. Listeners, these are out of physical or digital, or will be by this top podcast in your feed, but could be region dependent. Whoa, way. Spring stop, well, whoa. I just do that. I do that for Bo Below because he likes it. It serenades him. And if it serenades him, it serenades me. Now, I am seeing the Ray this week as a counterfeit Gordon Ramsay, going around local establishments trying to get free food while shouting obscenities and waving his finger in people's eyes. He's passed his son Wayne Ray off as a celebrity chef, like connoisseur. He goes in front of house, Ray goes in back of house. Between them, they get away with at least 6 doggy bags of food every time they pull this ploy. Bobby, it's been a while. How are you seeing today the mighty Ray? And if you can, his son Wayne.
Well, Ray is wearing just overalls. Pretty sure he's naked under them. Very muscular, chest hair, beautiful slick back hair. His son Wayne will be in a traditional communion outfit. If you're Catholic, Sunday church, very well dressed, nice patent leather shoes. Not sure where they're going. Doesn't really matter.
Wow. Dare I ask? Woo. We're going to go to Seb next. Okay. Seb, he's appeared to you as many forms: a pimp in crushed velvet, an upside down bowling ball, variants of different things. How has he presented himself to you today? Can you see his son Wayne? And if so, how's Wayne looking to you? Are they dressed for commune or something much harder?
Something much different. Like I see the Ray and his son, his illegitimate son, as a.
Oh wait, no. I don't want. I know you're in your flow there, but he is legitimate. There is no doubt that Wayne is Sting's boy. I can't.
Are you sure?
I can't. Trace Ray would kill me if that got out. You know.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so I'm imagining them as sort of. Have any of y'all watched Game of Thrones? Because they're, like the Jon Snow like attire from Game of Thrones, where he's wearing like the felt and wearing like the Knight Commander's like uniform. I imagine Ray's wearing that. He is like a stricken pale face, but it's like painted purple as well. And he's just, and him and his son, his wee young lad, all of how old is the wee lad, by the way?
Undisclosed age, but under 12, but he never ages. He's a bit like Game Boy Matty. He'll be perpetually 2.
Oh, okay. Like his dad, he has like the same kind of upside down bowling pin like stature of his father, except for some reason he's taller than Papa.
Wayne is taller than Sting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow. Okay. I want to leave some of it to my imagination, as probably the B-Day conversation should have been. RGT, enlighten us. How's Ray presented himself to you this fine, glorious morning?
Ray looks very like the old school Ray. He's rocking double denim. He's got a mullet, a moustache. He's rocking that Lambert and Butler, which he draws on very deep, right down to the filter.
OG Ray.
Yeah, he's got slip-on shoes, but he's wheeled in this giant toilet roll. And inside this toilet roll is little Wayne Ray dressed up as a Switch Joy-Con.
That's a good one. Way to bring it all together.
And he's rolling him round just to demonstrate the new techniques in the Switch controllers library.
Wow. We have a chat. Someone's messaged on the chat. What's this chat? Seb sent me a link to a B-Day.
Yeah, mine's on order.
Just so
you can buy attachments.
Just so y'all have a understanding of what this device is, and you don't have to have
personal purchase.
Are you asking if I purchased this particular one before?
Yeah. Do you have a plumbed-in B-Day, or do you have one of these sort of stick-on B-Days? What?
Oh no, we're going down this road again.
Whenever that money came in, I decided I wanted to splurge and get like the premium model. So mine's very similar to this, but it's more premium.
I mean, the girl on the fourth photo looks like she's having a good time.
So what's in Ray's boot? How do you see the Ray, George?
I can't remember what I said now. I saw Sting. Oh God! Does anyone remember how I saw Ray? Because I don't even remember anymore.
What's in Ray's boot then?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
His first one's not going to go well either.
Oh, Melon Journey. Oh,
this is the one I have to.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw this, I was thinking something totally different. But as usual,
Melon Journey, under the title "Bittersweet Memories," out on the PC March 7th. I've just frozen my computer by clicking on that B-Day link. Sadly,
you're just not meant to have a bidet.
Something about.
I also read this game totally wrong.
Okay. Coming out on PC March 7th. Please don't. PC, no.
All right. I can
No,
handle
it's okay.
it.
I've got this. I've
Okay.
managed to minimize. It's minimized. It took a while. I got the beach ball spinning, but it's minimized the whole thing. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories is a story exploration game about revisiting a town full of adorable animals with eccentric.
I think we having big difficulties.
We haven't.
George, if you can hear me, mute the mic.
George is buffering.
Mute the mic, sir.
There you go.
There
Thank
we
you.
go. There
We
we
were all
go.
dancing because you were
We were
trapped
having
with
a
Luke.
good time.
We had the
were
George
disco.
remix.
It kept saying perfect, perfect,
Perfect,
perfect, perfect,
perfect,
perfect, and we had to stop this.
Oh, there we go
No,
again.
Still
no,
doing it again.
Yeah.
Please stop. Please stop. Okay.
We got the George.
We will
We'll
I will
carry on.
continue this.
Yeah. Bobby, you go ahead.
Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories PC March 7th. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories is the story exploration game about revisiting a town full of adorable animals with eccentric personalities. Yet under its cute and nostalgic surface lies a dark tale of crime and corruption.
All right. RGT, take it away.
Clash, Artifacts of Chaos, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X,
Am I
PS4,
back?
Xbox One.
You're back!
Yay! Perfect.
Someone with skills needs to cut that out and send it to us as the UCP remix dance remix.
Oh, that was amazing.
I just saw you all banging moves.
No,
and I was
we
like,
were-
they're obviously well into this.
It was
This is
great.
amazing.
Oh,
You thought you had an entourage and everything.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I finally made it.
yeah, it was brilliant. That was incredible. Anyway, so yeah, Clash, Artifacts of Chaos, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, out on March 9th. Hunted by mercenaries of an enemy with untold power, the fighter. I can never say that word. Help me, George.
Pursudo.
I
Yay.
don't even know what I'm looking at anymore.
Is your
and-
computer working yet? Have you got it working?
Well, I hope so. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know what.
We can
I don't
hear you
even know
good.
what readout you're on. I got a little bit panicking. Had to pull the mic out, stick it back in again. Didn't know
We're
what
on
was
this-
going on.
We're on the second one, Clash.
Oh,
Yeah.
pseudo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it now.
Pseudo. Mm-hmm.
The fighter Pseudo and the creature under his protection begin a perilous quest to the edges of strange lands.
Mysterious.
Mm.
All right, George, you're next. Redeem yourself and your melons.
What? Okay, fine. Oni, Road to the Mightiest Oni on the PC, PS5, PS4 on Switch March 9th. Break your enemy's souls to reclaim your pride. On Kisijima, modern demon warrior Kuta and his partner Kazamaru challenge these souls to a trial, all in order to defeat Momotaro, who is... They'll go out stitched up. Who is both human and evil monster, a tale of sky and wind as they embark upon an island quest.
I did not
Isn't
want
that part 3?
Oh my god! Is it?
Isn't it 3 of these games?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's 2 on
anymore.
the PS2, isn't there? I think?
After my perfect, no, that's not.
Maybe it's a Switch or Xbox.
Are you thinking of
Game Pass
Onimushu?
one. Oni? I thought that was a game about an owl.
No. You're thinking of Ori. Ori.
Right.
Yeah, but there was
Ori.
on PS2. There was a game called Oni,
Yeah, I thought it was an Oni. I'm sure it was
which
two Onis.
is that not what Bungie created before they made Halo?
There is. She had a purple. It was a girl with the purple hair. It was
Purple
Bungie.
hair.
Yeah,
On the box,
Yeah.
looked quite cheap box art, but
yeah. But Bobby, you're thinking of Ori, like Ori and the Will of the
Yeah,
Wisp. Mhm.
Yeah.
give me.
I told you the grade was rough.
Who's
I
next?
love that game. Love
Up
that one.
here. We
I got it now.
Oh, okay. Please do. Thank you.
Okay, Paranormal Sight, the 7 mysteries of Hoji for the Switch, March 9th. How far would you go to bring someone back from the dead? Discover the depths that some will go in this horror action adventure.
Mm.
This
And
one's
then we-
surely for you, Bobby. This is the-
I'm not sure.
Nah.
Looks kind of interesting.
He's on the toilet paper roll game this go around.
That's for sure. But
That's
if I had
his
to pick
beat.
from here,
Yeah, which
Melon
is this not your
Journey.
mummy? Melon Journey's your mummy.
Yeah,
mummy.
because you know what? I like cute things, but also dark and there's something deep and dark there. I like that.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Bobby aspect here. I think
like that.
Melon Journey might be the mummy for me. too.
Everything's cute, everything's nice until you pull those sheets back and find out what's happening. All right,
Oh.
up next we got Project Zero,
Body
Mask
of-
the Lunar
body of-
Eclipse,
Body of Baywatch, face of Crime Watch.
100%.
Hmm.
No more jumping around over here. We got the Japanese survival horror game Fatal Frame / Project Zero, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is back with better graphics. So this is just a remake.
Yeah,
No, but I don't know if you've played these on PS2 recently, but they just don't have that scare vibe because the graphics look a bit wonky.
Yeah.
Have you played Signalis?
No?
Oh yes, I
Oh,
have. I love that game.
Really good game.
Yeah.
Really good game. It's a retro style horror game.
Yeah.
Where it kind of takes that PS1 graphics, but it has like the horror aesthetics of that genre as well. But it has some of the modern day game mechanics that you would expect from a modern day like horror game, and it just puts it in that PS1 graphics. Really good game.
Murder
It's
House
good,
is
yeah.
also up there.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
PS1 vibe, smack in the face.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tiny Troopers. Is this the one we're on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tiny Troopers Global Ops for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbone, and the Switch. Coming at you on March the 9th. Attention! Tiny Troopers Global Ops is a fast-paced arcade twin shooter in which you lead a elite squad of tiny troopers on a action-packed missions to take down hordes of unscrupulous enemies all corners of the world.
Okay. Let me just say,
This will be your mummy, I reckon, this next one.
this or the last one, and I'm torn. And as the Stanley, I'm allowed 2, so I'm taking both.
Excalibur.
Transport Fever 2 Console Edition, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, March the 9th. The classic transport simulation genre has a new gold standard with Transport Fever 2. Discover a whole new world by navigating transport routes through land, water, and air. May progress and prosperity find their way. I tell you what, I quite like the sound of that.
Delicious.
That's George's mummy.
I think that's-
Delicious
I think
sounding
that's might have to
game.
be my mummy. I think I quite like the sound of that.
No.
Yeah.
RGT, no. Rise
But to
above it.
round out, before your eyes, PSVR 2, March.
So
10th.
good. So good.
I'm excited for this. I'm intrigued to see how good it works against the concept that we've seen. But it's embark on an emotional, award-winning adventure where you control the story and affect its outcomes with your real-life blinks. This is a PSVR 2 title
That's
where
clever, that.
we saw it on the showcase.
It's a good game.
Every time you blink, it's able to render a new environment immediately. And it's each time you blink, you take another forward step on the journey of someone's life through their
Wow.
memories.
That
So
is
some
pretty
moments, I
incredible,
think
that.
you'll be like trying to hold your eyeballs open to breathe in all the niceness and deliciousness. And then I'm sure there's certain aspects in life where you want to move past it quickly. So you'd be blinking.
That's good. That's
crazily
someone
to
using the
move forward.
technology to its maximum, isn't it? You know.
I thought that's what made it stand out. I mean, a little bit like the toilet roll game, but for me, before your eyes.
No, that story, man. That story. I teared up playing this game. It is an immaculate story. It's
I'm
a
looking
really good game.
Forward to enjoying it.
Really
on
good game. It's
PSVR
a story that's not going to speak to everybody.
What did you
but
play it
this
on?
is-
Like Quest or something?
Yeah, yeah. I don't even have a Quest, but I tried it out on someone else's because they were like, Sebastian, you really need to play this game, and I was just like, I play a ton of indies. This probably is like I can probably skip this one. They were like, trust me, like this is kind of like it kind of hit you in the feels the same way as like Walking Dead season 1 did with Lee, and I was just like, don't do that to me. So I tried it out, and I was like, oh, tearing up immediately. I'm like, oh, it's so good. It is legitimately probably the best game of that showcase, like of games I know that are going to be like A1 caliber. This is probably a 10 out of 10 for most people.
That showcase deserved a little bit more of this and less of the 3 games that looked exactly the same, nailed to each other one after the next. And if you'd blinked, much like that last game, you wouldn't have even seen the join. You would have assumed it was all, I think we said this last week, all just one continuous reel of one game. Before Ray's allowed to leave, as you well know, gentlemen, you have to pick a retro.
Hold on, before you
oh, hang on, what now?
I just want to shout out before your eyes one aspect of it. Did y'all know this game is made by Netflix? Like it was published by Netflix.
What game?
Get it
Before your
flushed.
eyes. The
Get
last
it
one
flushed.
Oh, really?
the last one we were just talking about is published by Netflix.
No way.
Yeah, for sure. It's a Netflix video game. And you know, I want to give them credit because they really did a really good job with this. And like this makes me excited for the rest of their lineup that they're coming out because they have like eight games that are very similar to this kind of model that they're putting out. And
Listen, I love a good story-based driven game.
mhm. and like some of these writers also have written on their shows, but like I really want to shout it out because I'm like the Netflix catalog of games that they're coming out with looks really exciting because a lot of
How are
them
you going to play this on Netflix through the complicated measure of VR?
You don't have to play this via VR. Like you can play this via Steam, or you can play this on your like through your phone. Or
How do they know if you've blinked or not? Or do you literally press spacebar when you've had enough?
that's
Probably allows the camera.
that's a game mechanic that they only put in the VR versions. You don't have that. You don't have to use that game mechanic when you're playing like on the regular versions. You could just hit X.
That VR version really brings an extra bit of weight to it, though, doesn't it? Because
Yes.
sometimes you involuntarily blink. You obviously you're not aware of it until someone makes you aware of it, and then you see black shutters come across your vision for the next 6 hours. So if I've done that to a listener, I'm sorry. Okay, shout it out. Netflixed up. Awesome stuff. Credit where credit's due. Fair play. But now we don't want to anger the Ray. So let's wade in with our VHS picks. And let's go to Bobby. Bobby, my beautiful little cherub-like friend. What VHS are you taking out of Ray's boot?
Zombie ass Toilet of the Dead.
Sticking with the toilet theme.
It's a 2011 Japanese horror comedy.
About a B-day?
It's about poop covered zombies in a very action Japanese style cinematography there.
Sounds like perfect Ray fodder.
Yeah.
Seb, what's your mummy VHS pick?
This isn't a VHS by any means, but I just saw Creed 3. Amazing. Absolutely loved it. A really good movie. Really good cinematography.
They're all
really
good.
Yeah, they're all really good, but like I actually think 3 might be my favorite now. But like,
Oh wow.
so yeah, and I really like 1 and 2, but like 3 hits really hard, and they do some really cool like innovative stuff that I've never seen in any sort of sports movie, much less a boxing movie.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Well, to be honest, Ray doesn't just do classic VHSs. He also does sort of bootleg copies.
He gets the bootlegs.
He gets the
Yeah.
bootleg. So he's
That's
got
what he's known
Creed
for.
3. Yeah. Okay.
Yo, Ray is a hustler, man.
He is.
No stone left unturned in pursuit of the dollar. That's the Ray's motto. It's the family motto. Work out for me, some listener, what that means in Latin and let me know. Before we move on, before we find out RGT's and mine, I must say thank you to the listeners. Also, thank you to the massive wave of listeners that's put us in the top 10 in the Netherlands. Again, I don't quite know how we're finding such traction in Europe, but I'm very grateful. I did ask the German listeners to join the Discord. They didn't, so I'm going to have to rain down hellfire and fury on you from distance. I'm disappointed. I even was going to build a specific area for you. You know, you build it, they will come. Maybe I should build it first. Boba, baby. Going dark. Let's go to the Discord mobile. Let's build a little German area. I don't know what we're going to call it, like Little Berlin, something like that. Yeah, I like it.
What kind of snacks are you going to provide for the German audience?
Listen, I don't want to assume anything right now because I don't want to lose the Germans. They're very loyal to me. Okay, so I could say something like sauerkraut, which is not going to go down very well. So I'm just going to provide a range of salty snacks and some sweet beverages of their choice, and then leave it there. Okay,
I like that.
Once they're in the area, they can dictate to me. Dictate's probably a strong word. They can tell me what snacks they want in their little area. Okay, fine. Let's move on. I've done it again, haven't I? I think they're here for this right now. I don't even know. RGT, lower me a rope constructed of toilet roll woven into a rope that I can be pulled to safety on.
Yeah, rope is lowered.
What VHS memory? And I do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There was an open goal, and I tried to avoid it first of all, and it was like, "Boo, a tap in. Do I do a tap in or no tap in? Do a tap in. No one will know." RGT, what's your mummy VHS?
I'm going to go with something that is a classic that Ray always has in the boot, and I just want it's my favourite TV series of all time, and I was wanting a nostalgia hit. Seb and Bobby probably won't have never heard of this, but that is Only Fools and Horses, the box set. Because
you're right. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
The best British comedy ever.
If you can get it on the smaller complete collection, nice. If, like me, you've got the Marvel Cavendish collection, you better clear out a couple of drafts.
Yeah.
Is this watchable on any
service?
You came dressed as Ray with a bootload and even.
I did, didn't I?
DVD, Rodney?
You used to be able to get it on Netflix, but you can't get it on there anymore. I think it's been sort of barred behind.
I think that another streaming service, which all the UK TV providers got behind, was something called BritBox.
Oh,
and I think you'll find Only Fools and Horses on there. So if you've got another £10 a month kicking around in your back pocket and you want to trawl through classic British TV, you're going to have to man up or person up and pay the extra £10. So you got Netflix, you got BritBox, you got your license fee, BritBox.
I think I'd explain it to you American guys as if you think of Stingray, but a bit more London and in a dapper suit. That's Del Boy, the lead character from Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he has the mythical powers, though.
No, he don't have the mythical powers, but he can buy you anything. He can find anything. He can sell anything.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wade in then with my mummy is going to be inspired once again by Harvey Retro. I'm going to pull A View to a Kill out on VHS.
Ooh,
Looks
nice.
beautiful. You want a bit of retro 007 action, you can't do any worse than this. And it's got a killing theme tune. So perfection personified. With that, I look around and there's nothing but a piece of toilet paper on the floor with what looks like a rusty bullet hole on it. I do believe that's how Ray disappears now, but I'm not sure. It changes every week. I don't want to touch it. I'm going to touch it. I can't help myself. Curiosity killed the cat. Luckily for you and me, it's chocolate.
Thank God.
Although it does look like he executed the aforementioned pinch technique that you mentioned earlier. And you said that no one wipes like that. It transpires the Ray does. And the Ray's about the only man who can have a bit of an accident downstairs and get away with using one sheet of one ply. No danger.
Good.
Everyone who's listened, he is. It's the mythical powers. Everyone who's got this far into the show, they kind of know that I know that you know that we can't go until I ask you, gentlemen, what you're hoping to play. Let's kick the ball to Seb. What are you hoping to play this gaming week?
It's kicking my teeth down my throat, so I hope I'll continue playing Wulong Dynasty. It is a fun game, but I am not historically a Souls-like gamer, so I hope I will continue to stick with this. So I'll probably play that, and I will probably be playing that and a couple of other different things. Like like I said, I have a developer interview with the creator of McKee's Adventures. So I'll be playing that a little bit, and I will probably be playing a little game that we also saw on the Switch Switch showcase. No, for sure not. For sure not. The WBSC eBaseball Power Pros game. The baseball
that $1 baseball game.
The $1 baseball game. I'm going to be interviewing the developers for the Single Player Experience podcast, so I'll also be playing that game.
I'm downloading that tonight. I think I keep looking at it and thinking, oh, maybe no, and then I think that's just a silly little baseball game. It's not going to do for me what I want for me. It's not going to be for me what I need it to be. But for $1, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to do it.
You know what I'm excited about this baseball game? It's the first game that we've gotten from Konami in a very long time. And I'm like, if this brings it, because rumor is they're going to be at E3 with announcements. And if it's a Pachinko machine, everyone's going to flip their wigs and burn it to the ground. But I'm like, if they're starting to come out with games, even if they're on the smaller scale like this, like that excites me because like if they can start partnering with maybe Blue Point or maybe if Sony decides to buy them and come back out with Metal Gear Solid, let's go. Come on, let's start the wave here, people. Let's bring out some good stuff.
That'd be so
cool. So I'm gonna be playing those games.
Okay, Bobby, what are you hoping to play?
Well, I want to buy a toilet paper heroics game.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep, and then I'll continue with Hogwarts Legacy. To have Eva get mad at me by keep saying Revelio constantly every 10 minutes. And that's pretty much it because I'm done with Elden Ring. So straight focus on that because I'm break my other rule and then go right into Wulong, yeah.
You were about to say Wu-Tang Clan?
I was really, I really was. I was
Fallen Dynasty.
couldn't think of
their
it.
next
But
album.
it's good enough.
Yeah.
You could play some Wu-Tang while you play that game. I'm sure
Yeah, for
it would
sure.
work out well.
Yeah.
Okay,
For sure.
get on Spotify, make it the soundtrack to your game. RGT, that leaves me and you, and society and pressure to be polite makes me ask you what you're hoping to play.
Bit similar to the other guys, bit more Hogwarts Legacy. I'm sort of looking forward to getting back into it. I'm just looking forward to getting the end game on that now, I think. I'll probably have a little bit of a cleanser every now and then with Spider-Man, try and get that wrapped up. And I've also
Were you playing Live Alive?
No, I haven't actually. I was going to start it. I haven't actually started it yet.
Okay.
Look like the kid who waltzed
about
into biology with his chest out,
Yeah.
and the teacher's like, "You done your own work?" No.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on blast
all right.
like that. But I remember you talked about it.
Yeah, I was going to start playing it, and then because Hogwarts Legacy come out, and I got into that, and I haven't actually played Live Alive yet. But I've been tempted with my Switch. I haven't tried the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games yet on the online service. I don't know if anyone's tried that yet, so I'm a bit tempted to have a little dabble in that this week. See what they're like, see if they're worth playing. So I do like the Game Boy Advance. There's a few games I'd like to dabble with in that, and I mean that's becoming, although whatever we say about Nintendo, that online service is becoming a bit of a bargain, really. $35 a year, and there's a lot of games on there now. If you're into your retro stuff,
there are some games there that you could play with a friend, which is amazing.
Yeah, and there's a good back catalogue there. For the money is cheap, and I think they're quite well done, really, with the rewind. I know some people don't like the rewind, but some of them old games are tough.
What's the yearly thing for that, Nintendo?
It's $35
a year.
What is it for PlayStation? 70?
I think it's 60 for the 60 in the US for like the minimum base model. Yeah. I think it's like 70 or 75 for that the extra, and I think it is 90 to 100 for the premium.
And what's the Xbox minimum?
You can pay, I want to say $40 a year, or you can do for Game Pass, or you can do the $15 a month. So most people just go with the year model.
It's not bad, yeah. That's good.
It's there's a reason why they call Xbox the best deal in gaming.
There's a sub deal to that because they've still got Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but Gold comes with Game Pass Ultimate. So I'm like,
that's not bad though. That's
so
good.
if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you have Xbox Gold. It comes with it.
Well, at Nintendo one, you've got NES, SNES, Mega Drive, N64. Now you've got Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
I think they're going to announce GameCube at around E3 time.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That would be amazing, man.
Yeah. So
if that is out on there,
that'll be great.
To be honest, they could, if they're doing GameCube, they simultaneously might as well announce Wii as well if they're going to go down that route, and then you've got the whole Joy-Con playability thing. Perfect.
I think they're gonna slow drip, do the slow drip model because like on the Wii catalog, I think.
How old is the Switch? If this was any more of a slower drip, Seb, we'd be
6
dead.
years. Wow.
Yeah, it just
but 6 years and it's still going strong. So keep doing it, right? What's wrong with it? Nothing right now.
And they play well on there. Them classic games play well on there. I played through Sonic 2 a few months ago, and plays really well.
I am shocked that they didn't put Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on there though.
Like those are probably going to re-release them at $60.
They need further monetization, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's. I think it's been quite a long show, so let's let them cut to the chase. I'm going to just let you know I'll be playing some more Farming Simulator. Think of that what you might. Think of that what you like. I don't care. It's gaming.
Where's some overalls where you're playing it?
He does.
He's got him on now, people. He's got him on now.
Yeah.
Straps are up now.
Yeah.
Got the coveralls, got the plaid shirt, got the Orioles hat. I mean, really.
He even takes a packed lunch into his living room, so he stops and has his lunch break.
Got a piece of straw that he picked out from outside,
That's it.
just right in his mouth.
Oh, we were there, and then you did that, and oh wow, not all farmers chew on straw, Seb.
I'm a Texan. Like, I'm a Texan. I'm the case study for this. If anything, I should be telling you what us farmers do down here.
Okay, right. Okay, I'll best get myself some straw and a packed lunch in a metal pail.
Straw, some sunflower seeds, some maybe tobacco chew, and you got it. And a slice of watermelon.
Wow. I don't know how I'll keep all this from going off, but that's fine. So the bit of Last of Us, I've been all over games this last week. I think if I get a bit of time on the PS3, I'll continue Batman. Just having mindless fun with it, to be honest. It's nice to go back to an era where sit down, play a game. Everything's
Are you going to
there.
get the Riddler trophies?
My history with the Riddler trophies is a little bit not great, to be honest with you, because it makes me want to punch the TV screen in and makes me feel inferior. Like in that one with the Batmobile, the Riddler race
So stupid.
is the most ridiculous and horrible thing I've ever had to endure in a video game, if I'm honest. It was awful.
And nobody in the whole city knew about that, no? Not even the Gotham Department of Environmental
Gotham
Protection.
PDs are like worthless, though.
That's why
Their
they need
whole
Batman.
their whole city inspectors are also trash. First of all, you're building these tunnels under Gotham City. What's the structural code? You could
by the way,
collapsed this damn city. You could have collapsed the city.
They hint at that
the
in
Riddler
Arkham
did put
City.
planning permission in.
And how many people took that? Like, he must have had thousands of people working in there that nobody knew. It's almost as stupid as the Dark Knight when the whole Gotham Police Department went down the sewer to find Bane.
They hint about that in Arkham City about how a lot of these like villains get away with that, and it's not just the police that are corrupt; it's some of the public, like all the public officials are corrupt.
The whole
as
damn
well.
city is corrupt. Jesus.
Mhm.
It literally is. I think that's the only thing that's
Ra's al Ghul had the right idea in that city.
Oh, so dark.
Under
so dark.
race Hot Wheels racetracks under Gotham City. No one knew. Come on, man.
Okay, well, with that controversy put to bed, I would say that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial control. It's what you do with it that counts. See you guys.
Slithering out. Slithering out.
Hufflepuff.